tonight. We call names tonight.
Are you ready?
In the year 2000, Kathy Freeman warmed up right here before her legendary Olympic gold medal winning race, where she won the hearts of Australians during the women's 400 metre final here at the Sydney Olympic Park. 16 years on, this location is now the decider for our next Olympic hopefuls at the Olympic and Paralympic Games in Rio de Janeiro later this year. Hello and welcome, I'm Tamsin Lewis-Manu and we are set for another massive day of action at the pinnacle event of the Summer of Acts calendar, the 94th Australian Athletics Championships. I'm joined in commentary by four-time Olympian and world cross-country champion Benita Willis and specialist trackside race caller Matt Lynch. And we have Mossy and Robbo and also David Lutzy Lutteral, trackside, taking us up close with the action and getting us some interviews with the stars of the show, the athletes. Benita and Matt, tell me, it's an awesome program tonight. What are some of the highlights?
For me, Tams, and I'm looking forward to the women's 1500. I think it's going to be a tactical race because we have Zoe Buckman already qualified and also Melissa Duncan, who's just come back from the World Indoors and come sixth over there. So I see defending national champion Heidi C. She'll be tough to beat, but Zoe and Melissa will be up there as well.
It's going to be a great race. Matt?
Yeah, so we've got the 400s. We've got Morgan Mitchell and Annalise Ruby. They've got the Rio qualifiers. If one of them can get it, it's going to be interesting to see who takes the win. And in the men's force, Steve Solomon's back in Australia. Luke Stevens was undefeated until Ben Offerins came back and took him in the semi, so it could be a race between those guys.
Oh, it's so exciting. Now, boys, tell us, what can we expect trackside?
Look, it's been hyped up as one of the races of the week here, Tams, in the men's 800 metres, and it's been brewing beautifully all season. And I think Luke Matthews is really in the box seat, you'd have to say, but he's going to get some threats thrown at him and some attacks. James Gurr is one to watch, and obviously Josh Ralph in there as well, who also has a qualifier. You boys looking very similar here. You've got your stunt double here, Mossy, Lutzy, but what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm Mossy. He's Lutzy over there. You're not seeing double. Well, I'm out in the field once again tonight. Really looking forward to Robbo. In the men's high jump, Brandon Stark won't be jumping, so we're looking at Nick Boych, Joel Baden or Navraj Singh from Malaysia. What about you, Lutzy?
Well, no one's mentioned the sprints, and I think the hundreds tonight will be fantastic. In particular, Mel Breen.
Thanks, guys. Well, stay tuned. As you can hear, it's going to be an action-packed evening of athletics. You're watching the 94th Australian Athletics Championships live from Sydney Olympic Park.
Sydney Olympic Park. Get into life.
here for the 94th Australian Athletics Championships. Tonight is going to be a great night of competition. I'm joined in commentary by Bonita and Matt Lynch. Guys excited?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, it's been a big, already a couple of days, and day 3, second day of the stream, and we've got to see some awesome finals on both the track and in the field as well. We've already conceded there's a couple of events underway. That's the men's discus, just getting through their first few rounds. See our Japanese competitor about to jump into the circle for his first launch of the disc. Very handy throw there. That line you can see out there, that's 65 metres. That is the Rio Olympic qualifying distance for these guys. I'm not sure what it is for Japan, but that's obviously the Australian qualifying distance.
It's not just our national championships, it's also the Olympic Games qualifying competition, which is every 4 years. It's a big event, isn't it?
There you can see the start list there. We've got Alexander Parkinson, Hugh Peacock, Yuji Tsumi, Liam Spears, Julian Ruck, Lachlan Miller, Michael Vasilopoulos, Go Chin En, Bradley Kemp, Alex Rose, Marshall Hall, and the winner of the hammer throw yesterday, Matt Denny.
Yeah, and Tamsin, I think, I'm just so excited because I remember we raced, we were just talking about this morning, before Sydney 2000 Olympics on this track, leading into the Olympic trials. And
it's a long time ago now, 16 years ago. But how exciting for these people. They get to actually try and make, a lot of them, their first Olympic team, and they're running on the place where, you know, Kathy Freeman warmed up that many years ago.
Yeah, and I'm still feeling nervous, like, for them, and just remembering those times as well. And it was just it's so cutthroat, you know, and you've just got to perform your best when it counts. And that's what I like. I like it being cutthroat.
It's a tough sport. I was on the warm-up track yesterday, and you see the two extremes. You see the elation when there's athletes that have competed really well. You've got like someone like a Cedric who's just gone out and performed above and beyond his personal best and qualified for the Olympics by 14 points. And so he's obviously ecstatic. But majority athletes, they walk off the track and they're disappointed. So there's a lot of tears, and it's the other side of athletics is pretty tough that a lot of people don't say. That warm-up track's a emotional place to be at a time like an Olympic trials championship.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always interesting to see how some of the people hold themselves between rounds even. They might go over for a semi-final, might be relaxed and warming down, or some people are trying to fix all the issues that they had before. But we've got the discus going on. We've got Mossy out there in the discus. Mossy, what's the feeling like out there?
It's like being in the footy sheds. You can smell the liniment. You can see lots of powder being blown up in the air. Big Matt Denny in behind me, slapping away at the thighs. I can tell you what, I was here yesterday for the hammer throw. This guy, he is absolutely the favourite. Now we've seen, unfortunately, Ben Harradine, 6-time national champion, won't be here. He got the silver medal last year. He's revved up for this one. Last night, pretty casual, got the gold medal in the hammer, but this one means a hell of a lot to him. Lots of international competitors here today. We've also got Julian Ruck in the competition. He's a former national champion as well. Back up to you guys.
I saw Matt Denny around the Mead Hotel during the week, and he is such a laid-back, relaxed character. Isn't he good fun to be around? It'd be fantastic if he could make that team, not only for the fact that we'd love to see hopefully 3 discus throwers competing for Australia by the time Rio comes around, but also just for him to be a part of that team. You know, when you've got the fun guys in the team, it does lift the atmosphere of the village.
Yeah, and there's just so much seriousness about the Olympics, and with the teams that we've been on and the people that we know as well, like if there's just too many of those, you need the fun personalities. And yes, they might, you know, not always say the right things, or they're funny and they're silly sometimes, but they're so serious when they compete. But you got to laugh, and that's what, you know, I'm seeing Maury Plant here commentating, and he was always fun to have around, and you know, he makes you laugh, and you gotta have fun with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters in track and field. It's a shame it hasn't been as publicised of later years, but it's good with this live stream. Hopefully people are getting back into watching athletics, because there are so many great talented athletes out there, but there's also so many really, really good characters of the sport. You know, we saw it leading into Melbourne Grand Prix when Damien Burkhead painted himself up as the Hulk. You know, it's good fun. Ben Harradine mentioned before, he's obviously one who's been a character on the team for a while now, and It is. You feed off the positive energy that these guys bring. So I'd love to see Matt Denny be on that team.
Oh, yeah. Probably the most enthusiastic bloke I've met for the throwing. He actually wants to hold a competition in his backyard, he said. He does have a circle and a cage in his backyard out in Allara.
He's not in a suburb, people. It's okay.
No, he's out in the country. But, yeah, he wants to hold a comp there, and they'd be very easily get Ruck and Harradine out to that comp. And that's almost an Australian-level comp just at the back, about 3 hours away from Brisbane.
Wouldn't that be brilliant? What about the preparation for that? You roll out of your own bed.
Yeah, he doesn't have to travel far.
That's awesome.
Have your dog on the sidelines watching?
Maybe you can teach it to retrieve the discus.
But I think also you see so many people, they just form friendships when they're competing as well. And you see, you know, every time, like Tamsin and I, we're from different states, but we always, you know, you like to see people. And it's good to see Melinda as well. And I think a lot of my best friends have come through athletics and track and field. And now that I'm back living in Brisbane, I miss a lot of those people. But it is great to see these people forming friendships and going away on teams together. And, you know, if you're a thrower, a distance runner, sprinter, and you're all having lunch together. And, you know, you don't often do that in a lot of other sports as well. Like the rivalries and the competitiveness stays on the track and in the field. But, yeah, everyone's friends and they can muck around when in their own time, you know. So
it's a mutual respect, isn't it? It's a really tough sport, track and field, a really tough sport. The nerves that a lot of these athletes will be going through, not only once they hit the warm-up track, but from last night through to this morning. We've got some big finals, big competitions on this evening. There's some good head-to-head battles, and there's people who are really fighting for those Olympic spots, because we have some races like the men's 800 where there's a lot of guys who are there or thereabouts around that qualifier, and so, you know, the top 3 spots are really important, because if you don't have the time, you can still go to Europe from here and compete, and fingers crossed get that time in one of the fast races, get dragged through. Same with the field events, you know, lots of great athletes out there. It's not only about getting the distances right now, it's about getting those top 3 positions. So if they can do that, then they've got a real chance to get on that plane to Rio later in the year.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these athletes in the middle distance, they'll go over to America and try to get the time if they don't get it tonight or tomorrow night, the ones that need the time. But then the ones that do have the time, if they don't win, you know, they're not guaranteed either. So they've got to really make sure that they're right up there as well. So I find all the tactical stuff really interesting in the middle distance. And I know for the Sydney trials, I was 4th in those days.
Yeah.
4th was the first loser. So I ended up doing the 5K. But these days you can still qualify if you can get the time and you come 4th and people in front of you can't get the time. So it's interesting.
Crowley came back from 96 where she made the final in the 1500, and she came and she ran in 2000. You had Sarah Jamieson and young Georgie Clark.
Georgie Clark,
and yourself, you were all qualified. That was an intense final at those Australian Championships, and that wasn't the Australian Championships, the Olympic trials.
That was the Olympic
in the middle
trials,
of the year they moved it, and it was at the main stadium just before the Olympics.
Yeah,
that was tough. You did very well to change events. That's some serious talent to be able to go, okay, I haven't made this one, I'll just do it in another event. You know who else did that year? And they also went to 4 Olympics.
No.
Craig Mottram.
Oh, yeah, okay. So he went up to the 5K. He had the fight with Nick Cowarth in the 1500.
Yep.
And then the rerun.
Yeah, the rerun. It was amazing. See, people, like, it gets intense when it's an Olympic year. You know, there's even guys who are mates, once they hit that track, it's a lot on the line.
Yeah, and it's the personalities that we love, and those 2 guys, their personalities were complete opposite.
Complete opposite.
Great to watch racing.
A brilliant race. It was so exciting. 40 metres from the finish line. I think one of them pulled one of them down. It was.
Yeah, and I think,
if you haven't seen it, try and get your hands on this footage, because it was an amazing race. And then the rerun in Adelaide?
Yep, Adelaide. Yusuf won.
Yeah, so the person who wasn't getting... Yeah, that's right. Matt Denny in the circle.
Pretty happy with that one. It's definitely out over 60 metres. The leading is 59. And I think that will put him into the lead first round, just fielding up the circle. Needs that 65.00 and a win, and we may see him nominated for 2016.
Just needs 2 metres. Just need to get him 2 more metres and he's on that plane.
You might make that announcement at the gala tomorrow night, Tamsin.
Yes, the gala. That's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to that. Co-hosting it with Dave Colbert, ex-long jumper.
Yeah,
for Australia.
Great guy, Colbert. Yeah, no, I'm excited about that. And it's just great to see people that have been in the sport coming back and doing those presentations. And, you know, the youngsters as well, they love it. But, yeah, can't wait to see you guys. Dream team.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the team announced because I think you'll have some youngsters that have dreamed of being on Olympics for so long. A good story, one of them is Ella Nelson. You know, you see the picture that has been doing the rounds in the papers and through the media of her and her dad, Steve, when she was 6 years old and she was watching Mel Gainsford-Taylor run her 200 metres with Cathy Freeman for the final. And that inspiration that a home Olympics can create, we've got a few athletes who are starting to really get to their straps now, and a lot of them are saying that those Olympics are what fired them on to get to hopefully make an Olympics themselves. So if Ella Nelson comes out here and she wins the 200, which, you know what, she's got to be the favourite, she'll be a great story.
Now we got Mossy out there at the Discus. Can you give us an update, Mossy?
That's right, the big fella from Allarar. Matty Denny through on there, 59.92. He's taken over the lead. A nice little chuck there by Alex Rose of Samoa, 57.70. Now, I had a bit of a chat to a few of the throwers, and I tell you what, this circle is not a great circle, they're telling me. It's one of the worst in Australia. So Matt Denny has to go another couple of metres over his PB to get that magical 65-metre mark. But I tell you what, there's plenty of competition here today. They'll be pushing him, he'll be pushing them, and I reckon we may see something very, very special right here at the Australian Athletics Championship. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, thanks there, Mossy. It's unfortunate the circles. It's something that us trackies probably wouldn't understand so much about what makes a good fast circle. I suppose smooth but not too smooth, so you need to be able to grip but still find a little bit there. There is a bit of a headwind though at the moment, so I think they might be pretty happy with throwing into a headwind. That does give the lift. The discus is pretty much like a plane, so you need the headwind to hold the discus up into the air a little bit longer, and rumour has it they will be switching the hundreds around later on, so that does mean that there is a headwind, and I know Matt Denny loves chasing a wind.
Beauty is it's a national championship, so, you know, they don't just hand national titles out. So all the boys will be out there trying to get that national title, and they've all got the same conditions. So if the circle's not fast and it's not what they really want, it's not conducive to obviously big throws, which is obviously when you need qualifiers is what you want. But I think the idea of these champs is that you want to get that national title. You want to be the first person to have the chance to chase the qualifier. So they'll be all right with it, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And Denny's, this is a good chance for him to get that his first national title in the discus. Obviously, he's battling against Ruck and Harradine for those few years, and he's thrown over 63 metres for the first time this year down at Adelaide, and pretty sure he improved on that later on in the year. So he's improving. He got a silver medal at the World University Games last year in his first elite competition, the first open comp. So that was on a wet circle and he threw a PB.
Yep.
So you've got to deal with the conditions. Yep. And actually sometimes I remember hearing Danny Samuels saying a wet circle is actually pretty good. When it's wet out here, it's very fast. Unfortunately, it's not raining. It's very nice weather. So the discus throwers have to
We got forecast rain tomorrow. Maybe we can postpone them.
Well, that's when the women's discus is going to be on.
Oh, so, perfect. Well,
there you go, Danny. We may see Danny improve on her 67.99 PB.
Well, she's in shape too.
Yeah.
Danny's a phenomenal athlete. She's been to 2 Olympics so far, but not only that, she's finalled in 2. So her first Olympics in Beijing, she made the final, and I think she finished 9th. This is off the top of my head, but I think she finished 9th, and I remember talking to her after that, and you think that a 20-year-old at their first Olympics would be stoked with 9th. You know, it's an unbelievable effort. People don't go to the women's discus and come 9th in their first
and
Olympics.
And not at 20. It's a long...
Yeah, it's usually as you get a bit older and a bit stronger that you make Olympic finals in discus. But she was disappointed. You saw it written across her face. She was really upset, and she took that disappointment home, and you know what happened the next year. You know, She was the youngest ever world champion. She's just got that, for somebody who's so bubbly and so softly spoken and a beautiful soul of a girl, when she gets in that circle, it's different. Danny, she's amazing competitor.
Yeah, she threw qualifier after qualifier at the Sydney Track Classic a couple of weeks ago, and Mel and I just kept coming in, and she wasn't happy. But that's why she's world champion as well.
And there's a ruck. He's the second furthest Australian thrower of all time, 68.16, only 4 centimetres behind Harradine. He's just got to find himself a little bit extra form. He's capable of throwing 65 metres. Hopefully he can find a little bit of shape. He does do an extra spin out there. And that's not too bad. It's getting out around that 60-metre mark.
Yeah, what's the extra spin? Like another full complete?
So he just does a little extra half spin before his full spin. So obviously the centripetal force to throw the discus, but he's a real technical and philosophical guy, Julian Ruck. He spent a lot of time over in America, and I think he's been coaching himself for a fair bit of time. So yeah, he's into it. He's very into it. He spent a lot of time doing some self-bulking, and he got from a fairly big dude to a fairly even bigger dude, just himself, because he realised he needed to get bigger and stronger, and he's probably been growing that hair and that beard for a couple of years as well. As you can see, the ponytail's getting very long.
Yeah, it's not the top knot, but is it the medium knot, or it's not? It's not a top knot. I know a top knot.
I'd probably say it's the longest hair of the championship.
Do you know, that is the funniest thing about track and field, isn't it? Just how different all the athletes are. You know, we're sitting next to Benita, who was a marathon runner. And can you imagine trying to bulk up and put those extra kgs on? And then you've got the discus thrower who really wants to get extra power on. I love that about track and field. So many different athletes, different size and style. All right, we'll head off to a break and we'll be back. Some great events coming up. Welcome back to the live stream. You're watching the 94th Australian Athletics Championships. I'm here with Benita and Matt Lynch. Got the women's pole vault final coming up.
Yeah, so you can see the start list there. Emma Philippe, Kate Abfalter, Liz Parnov, Catherine McRae, Isabella Muriel, Jamie Scroop, Lauren Hyde-Cooling, Isabel Napier, Nina Kennedy, Lisa Campbell, Alana Doust, Laura Martino and Vicky Parnov.
Obviously, one big omission from that start list. Alana Boyd's not there. She had a pretty serious mishap at the World Indoors over in Portland recently. In her last attempt, I was speaking to her mum and dad. Obviously, great athletes. Sky into the air was a really dangerous box, and a lot of the athletes had a lot of problems with it, and just one of those things that happened. She hurt her ankle, but she's going to be okay. She's just being a bit precautious because she knows she's in great shape.
Yeah, and she's one of the only girls that's, well, she is the only one that's done the qualifier. And, well, she's in Australian record form.
Yeah.
Okay, going down to Robbo and Lutzi for an update from the pole vault.
Yeah, Benina, the bar at 3.40 metres here at the moment. Kate Abfalter moments ago, not over at that height, but very early days, Robbo, of this competition. It should be a stellar one of that this evening.
Nice little crowd building in front here. It's really a joy to watch the pole vault competitions here. The stand is literally right on the mats, and it's fantastic to watch. Conditions, Lutzi, look, it's pretty favourable for the pole vaulters here. A pretty gentle tail breeze for them. I just saw the wind reading a minute ago, 0.3 coming behind them. So, look, it's going to be an interesting contest as we develop through these rounds.
Yeah, I heard you mention that the sprints later might stick that way and go the other way as well. At this stage, a nice tail breeze for if you're running up the track as it is for the sprinters.
Thank you, boys, down there at the pole vault. Just early days down there, and we can see the men high jump. They're doing their last little warm-ups, and we can see Looks like Denny might be up in the discus very, very shortly. They're still in the second round. Denny's the last thrower in that competition. And this looks like Marshall Hall from New Zealand. See the silver fern tattoo there on the arm. That's maybe they all should have a tattoo on their shoulder just so we know what nationality they are just before they step into the circle. It makes it a lot easier for us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The Australian National Championships, well, I think we're going to see a lot of Australian flags. Or koalas and emus.
We certainly would. It's not a bad throw out there, getting out in those high 50s. And we'll see Danny step into the circle next.
Yeah, it's interesting to see those kind of tattoos. And I know Jen Lacaze from the 5K last night, she's got the Olympic rings tattooed inside the Australian flag up on her upper thigh.
I got to ask me. I have to ask me.
I haven't got
a tattoo?
No, but I'm thinking of getting one. But
oh, really?
You haven't? No,
I'm not a tattoo girl at all.
Yeah.
But a lot of the athletes, obviously, who've been to the Olympics do get those rings straight up.
Yep.
Put them in interesting places.
Yes, yeah.
It's like an Olympic ring spotting fest when you're at the Olympics.
Yeah, I don't mind the back of the shoulder blade.
Oh,
if it's a muscly guy.
Thought about it.
Well, I'm a guy.
Matt?
Well, that's a lot better. I do have, not the Olympic rings, obviously, but I do.
Are you allowed to say where and what?
Oh, yeah, it's on my foot. I've got run. Run.
Is that just in case you forget when the gun goes?
And then when I retire, it says I don't at the front of it. Which I probably should get done soon because I haven't run for quite some time.
And then just an arrow pointing up to your Achilles, saying too sore.
Oh, yeah. Lynchy does stair climbs at lunchtime at work over at QA.
When I can get away from the office. It's pretty quiet at the moment.
Power athlete.
Oh, keeping in shape, post-athletic career. Do you still run kilometres there?
Yeah, I did a bit of a run. 40 minutes is my max usually. So about 8-9K.
Are you loving that?
Yeah, but I do body pump and all that stuff at the gym.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because when you're an athlete, you can't do that sort of stuff. Everything's so regimented and focused on peaking at the right time.
I never did one stair sesh at all when I was training.
None?
Yeah, now. Yeah.
No? Okay.
Can't say I went to a body pump class when I was training either.
No, don't say.
How many kilometres would you do on an average, Benita, in a week?
180 to 200. Yeah.
My car goes that far.
I can't even run over about 12K now, and I'm just struggling. I'm hurting. So.
12 decathletes.
Okay, let's head down to Mossy and see what's happening at the discus cage.
Just gone through the second round down here at the men's discus. Everything still remains the same as far as positions go, with Matt Denny in the lead. He's bettered his first round. He's now at 60-41. The Samoan Alex Rose, he's just behind him by only a few seconds, really, at 60-13. So those two guys are starting to up the ante. Julian Ruck, two-time national champion at 56.91, and Liam Spears from the New South Wales champion. He is the third place Australian at the moment with a 47.90. And just confirming there, Lynchy, a couple of things. As far as the ring goes, apparently, it is fairly grippy. It doesn't really allow that sort of smooth turning to go. And also, mate, I'm pretty sure out on social media you did announce your retirement this year. So I'm wondering if we could get Robbo or Lutzy to go get a tattoo gun and do it right now.
I think I've been officially retired on social media 3 times now, so...
Maybe we should hold a press conference.
Well, I don't think I've actually run since either of those 3 times, so maybe they're true.
It's interesting they say it's grippy. I would have thought when you're trying to spin around that circle so fast, you'd want to be safe and for it to be grippy.
Yeah, no,
they want to slip.
They want to slip if they like the wet circle.
Must be,
I don't know.
No, well, obviously, to be really fast through the circle, you need it to be a smooth surface, so you don't want it grippy. But it's really interesting hearing because obviously being the ignorant track people that we are, we'd sit there and watch it go, a circle's a circle. Like they tell us, track's a track.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I know in Danny Samuel's interview after the Sydney Track Classic a couple of weeks ago, she was talking about how strong she is as a woman and how her strength is so important to her discus throwing and stuff like that. And what she said, and Mel and I talked about this a few weeks ago, it was just so interesting, and her, and her words as well about the like the throwing like stereotype of not being strong and not being like feminine and things like that. Like, she was awesome. She's just so good for the sport.
She's a beautiful girl too. So she's really good for women's discus. Really good. But it's interesting. I would love to. I'm going to have to ask Danny when I see her what the big event is for her this year, because obviously the Olympics is probably a big event, but she's got her wedding as well.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, yeah.
Dr. Joe, her fiance, may be hoping that she says the wedding's the big event.
Yeah, when do you put the wedding? Do you put it before or after?
She's gone with after, but
Yeah,
she's
smart.
planned it. She's planned it. You know what Danny's like. She's organised. She's planned it. She's all good. She's going to head over and everything will be done. And then obviously after Olympics, the party can be bigger.
There you go. Is there no sneaky diamond leagues after Rio? No, they've snuck in a few major events afterwards. Maybe chase a bit of cash as well.
She's probably
got that planned as well.
Probably, yeah. She's probably got that all sorted. She's organised. But
She might be able to use that for you could do your wedding somewhere overseas in Europe, and there's your honeymoon. You're already away.
I'm sure Joe wouldn't mind going on a honeymoon and going to the Diamond League circuit. They're pretty
it's
cool
not a bad
places.
little tour.
Yeah. There's a few. I think there's a few Italian late meets. Maybe Milan.
Yeah.
When's Croatia?
Croatia's Zagreb's late.
Zagreb.
Yep.
Croatia should be all right.
Starting to higher slightly. As you can see.
It is all about planning, and a lot of these athletes as well in these Olympic years, like if they do have big events coming up in their life, a lot of them plan them after the Olympics, and they just don't want any interruptions. But
there's another wedding. Someone else is getting married. Alana Boyd's getting married after the Olympics as well.
Friends with Danny too. Maybe it's a joint wedding.
Hope they've sorted the date out.
Save
It's not
a
the
bit
same
of
day. Weddings are a good distraction.
Hey, Ben, if you want, I've got something with Julian Ruck.
Yeah.
Here's the big man. Into the circle. Now, the indoors did some interesting thing in field events with the rounds. Like, they had, obviously, top 8 got another few jumps, but then I was watching Brooke Stratton. I think with the long jump, they did top 4 with the ones who got the last round. That was really interesting. They're obviously trialling a few things like cricket did to make 2020 exciting and make cricket more exciting, bring the fans in. So it's good to see them trying different things with athletics. All right, let's head down to Mossy and get an update from the discus.
Yes, big Julian Ruck has just thrown out with his third throw of 58.15, so he continues to remain in that third position, but he's climbing his way up. He has a PB of 68.16 and I believe a meet record of 66.32 with his 2 national records. Had a bit of a chat to him. He was diagnosed with celiac disease last year. A lot of people who know Julian, he's lost 15 kilograms, but he said it's not an excuse. He's been busy doing other things. He's bought a house with his sister. He's been getting right into his gardening and coaching a couple of young fellas as well. So he's putting a fair bit back into the sport. But I'm looking forward to seeing if he can nudge it up around that 60 mark. And at the moment, we still have Matt Denny in the lead with his third throw to come. He's got 60 metres and 41. Back up to you.
As a daughter of a celiac person, my mum's got it, and she was an ex-athlete, and she really struggles with it. Even if she has a crumb, she gets really sick. So, she was a high jumper, so she's a lean woman. But if you're trying to be really strong in the discus cage, it'd be pretty tough. It'd take some time to reassess and get that diet right. So it's pretty tough.
15 kilos as well.
It's a heck of a lot.
It does look
We wouldn't
slimmer.
be able to see you, Benita, if you lost 15 kilos.
I think you'd be leaner than me at the moment, Tamsin.
It's pretty tough, man.
Yeah.
Pretty tough.
Yeah. And I think as well, and he just didn't want to harp on it either, which is what Mossy just said, and that just shows the sort of athlete he is as well. Like, he doesn't want to talk about tough times in his life, and he just wants to get out there and compete. But I mean, that would be very tough. So it probably shows that he's got a lot of improvement left now. He's got his diet right and getting his strength back as well.
It's good people know about it, though, because 15 kilograms in a power to weight ratio event, that's a huge loss.
Brooke Stratton as well, celiac, so that's another one.
Ash Whitaker.
Okay.
There's a few of them.
And we got Robbo down there at the pole vault. Mate, you got an update for us?
Yeah, thank you very much, Lynchy. Still developing here at the pole vault for the women, and the bar's still at 3 metres 40. We've had our first casualty as Isabella Murrell from New South Wales has bowed out. And look, we've got a field of 13 here tonight, and at the moment we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 athletes that have attempted. And I'm just having a look over at Jamie Scroop, the South Australian. She's just standing up now, doing a few stretches, limbering up. And we've got from Western Australia, Vicky Parnov, Liz Parnov as well, Emma Philippe. They'll come in a little bit later on. But for now, it's still at 3:40. Hopefully we can get a few more of these girls over this bar and progress through into the competition.
Thanks, Robert. I love the tactics that are involved in field events, that until you sit back and you actually watch, you didn't realise that they're there. The fact that the girls have to choose what heights they go into. And, there's mind games come into that. If you want to be the top dog, I'm guessing I'd want to be the one who comes in last if you're out there in the pole vault, just to show are you really confident.
Yeah.
And you're going to clear these early heights so you don't have to do them.
The order so the order you come in, if you jump first and you do clear the bar first, you've put the pressure on the other guys. If they miss it, and even if they clear it on their second one, you're still in the lead by jumping first. So then it does come in. Do you pass it to try and go to the next height?
Yeah.
Because you would still have to clear 2 heights to even get into the lead anyway. And they're right out there, and they spend a lot of time with each other, and especially the pole vaulters. They're out there 70 minutes before the comp even starts.
Some of them even live together in terms of Vicky and...
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah. I remember Steve Hooker. I remember watching him just talking to some of the other competitors when he was competing or not jumping, and I always used to think, I don't know if I'd do that, but then when we're competing on the track, like all three of us, you don't really have time to do that anyway.
I think I'd find time in a 5-hour marathon. How long would it take you, Matt? It'd take me about 10 hours to finish
a marathon. I would never start it. I wouldn't start it.
You would ask for help.
So what am I doing here? Am I sleepwalking?
Oh, I'll tell you what, though, some of those core rooms, when people are eyeing me off, I remember Russians just eyeing me off. And if they were doing that to me in the pole vault, I don't think I'd ever jump. But it is all about mind games, isn't it?
There's a lot of things that come into athletics that obviously you don't necessarily see. The call room's an interesting one. The call room is the most intense place where that's the room where obviously athletes watching this know what it is, but it's the room that you go into before you head out to the track where your numbers and everything get checked. But I tell you what, in Olympics, and some of these athletes are going to find this out in Rio, it's an intense place because you see those athletes that you looked up to and you think are brilliant, and you sometimes have them in your heat and you have to stay strong and not get too nervous and not get, put off by the fact that you're about to compete against them. It's an intense little room, isn't it?
Who do you sit next to when you go down there? Do you choose... Someone might put their bag on their seat. There's no seats left. Do you stand? Do you take their bag off the seat? What are you going to do if you're in there late?
Yeah, I remember some of the Kenyans, they put on the deep heat just before they go out into the track, and I can still smell that deep heat smell from the core rooms. And I remember even just watching what people... I remember racing Sonia O'Sullivan in my heat in the 5K at Sydney Olympics, and she was putting racing flats on, and I'm thinking, she must be good if she's not even wearing spikes. And I'm like, spiked up.
It's like little lads, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, they've got good spikes.
What's your
fast. No, but it is an intense room, that call room, and I've seen athletes completely break mentally in there and perform terribly, and they've been in great shape just because they haven't been able to deal with that pressure. It's a high pressure cooker in there, so I think the best thing to do is to just go in there and relax and own it. I quite like the call room, to be honest. It's good fun.
It was worse in the days of the officials taping up everything, and then they're getting all the rolls of tape. And but if you're relaxed, like that's I like talking to other people in the call room.
Just be yourself, because all you have to do is once you get out there and the whistle blows, that's when you switch on. But it's still tough. The nerves that you feel when you're in that room, there's nothing like it. Once you step away from the track, you kind of miss it, but.
We'll be thinking of you tomorrow, Tamsin, in the call room.
I'm trying to not think about it.
You'd be the queen of the call room now anyway. You might be able to start intimidating the other athletes. Hide some spikes, maybe?
I'm that much older than the rest of them. I'd actually feel really rude if I tried to do that. And they're a good bunch of girls, so.
Just saw Matt Denny throw his fourth throw there. Let's see how far that is.
It's a little bit shorter, I think. It looks like it's just a tick under that 60-metre mark. He needs that 65. He doesn't look super happy with it. He might need to go back to the drawing board there, but they will have 3 more throws.
Yeah, they're out there a long time, these field event competitors, and I've always found it interesting because of some people that throw really well in the first few rounds, and then other people throw really well right at the end. But it's an interesting thing how they do it, because it's different to the jumps, and especially something like pole vault where you've got to be jumping your best right at the end.
And yeah, you can't even control your best jump in an event like, say, pole vault or high jump might actually not be your highest performance. I remember there's a video that I always watch on YouTube. It's this Polish high jumper from 1996, and he clears 2 metres 37 by about 10 centimetres. Yep. But still 237.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. Whereas long jump, if you jump far, you jump far. They know exactly how far it is, but it's a tricky one.
The long jumpers always have a really good foul.
Always, at training.
Always.
I love it. Yeah, we've got some people that ring. We've had some people that ring our office with or try to nominate for competitions with the jump that's been a foul, but I think I want to count it. But
It's pretty tough. I got to give it to the jumpers. When you stand out there and you've got your run-up set, the wind really does play havoc with it out there. So it's pretty tough. And if somebody said to me, do you want 6 attempts at the 800, I'd still say no thanks. I'll take this one.
Now we got Robbo down there. He is at the shot put.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lynchy. And in behind me here, we're seeing the shot put for the Ambulant Men competition. It's developing. We're through the first three rounds, so we're over halfway now. And I can tell you, Russell Short, the Victorian, is at the moment in the lead. But this is an interesting competition because we have a mixture of classifications, and it's a whole mixture of weights of the shot as well. So they have to make sure they don't mix their shots up. They're throwing the correct weight for their classification. But at the moment, Russell Short getting one out there over 13 metres at the moment, and we'll keep you updated with how this competition develops in the next few rounds.
Thanks, Robert. I'd love to help you out with how they do all that technical computerisation of working out the end result. Because I was speaking to Carly Beattie, who was in the long jump yesterday, I think it was, and she came second, but she jumped the furthest.
So with the open age, it's a percentage of the world record of your classification. So
it's pretty tough if one event's got an amazing world record.
Yeah, well, you look at, say, Oscar Pistorius, his world record in the 400.
Yep.
That's what it's going to be marked against. So if you got someone...
so it's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. If you've got a really strong athlete who's been through your event and maybe in leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else, it's going to make it very, very tricky.
But the guys know what's going on. They're all good with that because they know that their main target is, for a lot of them, is Rio Paralympics.
And then they compete against their own classification, and it makes the first across the line.
Yep.
But then again, a lot of our qualification times for the track and the field go.
It's a bit of a beard off. I see it. Text in and send us Twitter. Who has the best beard? You got Julian Rock on the left and Hugh Peacock on the right. Let us know who's probably got the best beard.
It's tough.
Text in your votes.
They're both pretty impressive, to be honest.
How long would that take to grow?
I tried to grow a beard once for a couple of months. It was disgusting.
I think we're going to see, like, if anyone's listening and follows AFL, Jimmy Bartell, who plays for the Cats, he says that he's going to grow a beard for charity this year through the footy season. So it's going to be interesting to see how long it does actually take to get.
It's a long time to...
Yeah.
And it might be pretty patchy.
And yeah, could you imagine if you actually don't grow it really well?
Yeah, it's going to be a struggle. I know I did end up with a really long moustache that I could curl at the end of it, so that was probably only the good thing that came out of it.
I love it.
Hey, mate, hello.
Yeah, I think you should get more points if you're growing the beard in Queensland.
Oh, yeah.
That's hot.
The hotter the climate.
So you can see on the screen there the start list. The first of our events, the women's 100-metre wheelchair. Emily Tapp, Jemima Moore, Emily Prakides, Julie Charlton, Angie Ballard, Rosemary Little and Robin Lambert.
You're going to talk to the mic. Hit your on-air button when you're ready for it.
Now, as you can see, we are having the hundreds go reverse at the moment. They are starting 10 metres back behind the finish line, and they'll finish 10 metres before the start line down the other end just to give them enough time to move away. This is going to be tricky, though. The wheelchairs do like turning left. Obviously, that's the way they're made up to do, but we've got some new commentators to help us out. We've got Melinda Gaines for Taylor on my left and Brett Wadden on my right. We met Brett yesterday, and Melinda at the Sydney Track Classic. Welcome, guys.
Thanks very much for having us. What a great night of athletics we got ahead, especially at this event. It's wonderful, isn't it, that they've turned it around to be able to help them and assist it, and also with the crowd to be able to see it on this side of the track rather than the other side of the track.
Yeah, it is tricky, especially when everyone moved to the back straight up, everyone moved to the front straight again. This way, they might only be just walking down the other end, and we can see down the other end, the start line, as it's announced the finish line, is it's getting a little bit crowded down there because everyone wants to see who's going to take it out.
You can just see on the screen there Robin Lambert, just there. She was the winner in the 400 metres yesterday. She'll be looking to back a good performance up here in the 100 today. Looking through the field there, you can see a lot of the T54 girls there, Emily Tapp, Jemima Moore, they'll be fighting for relay spots here. So a couple of internal battles going on during this race as well.
And of course, Angela Ballard, who was a 200-metre and 400-metre gold medalist last year at the IPC World Championships in Doha. She also has a qualifier for the 400 automatic, which is wonderful. It's always good to have that time to head towards Rio, and it'll be good for speed for this, you know, to be able to help her to be explosive.
Yeah, definitely. They'll really be happy with that wind, as Matt said, behind them now, so they can really focus on getting a real good push off at the start there. You can see them sort of psyching themselves up, just checking, doing the last bits of checking with their wheelchairs, making sure everything's in order before they get underway here.
And then in lane 7 as well, Rosemary Little. She's a Paralympic medalist in London and unfortunately got pneumonia last year.
Yes,
Doha.
Unfortunately had a bit of time out there at the back of them, was struck down with a bit of illness, but she's one to watch for those 34 classes there. She's a very, very talented athlete. And as you said, next to her, Angie Ballard as well, multiple international medalist at a Paralympic and World Champs level.
Yeah, got a gold in the Commonwealth Games as well, I think, in 2014.
Yeah, great battle with Madison De Rosario.
Yeah.
Now that will be coming up later in the 1500.
And it's very interesting, you know, isn't it, with their chairs? They work a lot on it because it's just so important, you know, for speed to be able to get the best out of them. And they do a lot of work at the N-Swiss as well as AIS, which is great.
Yeah, a lot of effort goes into setting up those chairs, not just the training, but also that plays a massive part in this race.
And we are off, and a fast start there from Jemima Moore and the athlete on the inside, Angie Ballard. And Angie Ballard really starting to pull away from the rest of the field. And it's going to be Angie Ballard streaking away now. Jemima Moore still going quick. The wind a plus 1.7. But Angie Ballard will take line honours. Second across the line, Jemima Moore and Rosemary Little third across the line. Tough for them to pull up so quickly with the wheelchairs. Normally you see them go full lap after
yeah, they'll
these
take
races.
some time to slow down, but you know, I'm sure they'll be happy with that reverse track, so they're willing to do the short stop to get that nice. There you can see a positive 1.7 tail.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they wouldn't mind that quick pull up, especially when most of the chairs are designed to go left around the track, and if you wanted to go right here, it's a bit trickier.
Yep, definitely. So we were looking for 17.25 for Ange Ballard there.
You see Ange there just is so powerful out of the start. Her coach is Louise Savage, so you've got a lot of experience there. But, you know, it's an area that they really work on as well, isn't it, Brett?
Yeah, just as important that start, getting that speed up, that can make the difference between the end, because they do get a lot of momentum going forward the back end of the race.
Now we got Robbo down there with the winner of the race, Angie Ballard.
Thank you very much, Lynch. Yeah, Angie's joined me down here. Look, the girls had to slam the brakes on because they had the end of the track here to avoid at the end of that one. But Angie, you got out fast, held your lead, and came home very strong. How did that one feel?
Yeah, it felt good. A little bit scary at the end to try and break and not hit the wall, but good race otherwise.
I was having a quick chat with your coach up there, Louise Savage. Pretty handy coach to have in your corner. What have you guys been working on in recent weeks in the build-up, I guess, to Rio? It's going to come around pretty soon.
Yeah, it's all about Rio at this stage. We're just trying to keep doing the work so that later on when we're ready to taper, it's quick, quick, quick.
Excellent work. All right, we're going to get ready for our next event here on the track. Thanks very much, Angie. Next event's for you?
1500.
All right, off to the discus now.
There's Julian Ruck in the circle. Looks like that one came out a little bit better. Just a little bit flat, unfortunately, but still only the 4th round. And like we said before, he's lost 15 kilos over the last few months with celiac disease, unfortunately. So it is going to be a little bit of a struggle for the time being until he gets used to that and fixes up his diet, and maybe he can put on another 15 kilos. But on the start list now, this is the men's wheelchair 100 metres. Nathan Donaldson, Matt Cameron, Gregory Luff, Sam McIntosh, Sam Carter, Reid McCracken, Jason LaChance and Richard Coleman. We're seeing a couple of these guys back up from the 400 yesterday.
Yeah, Matthew Cameron there was very, very convincing in that. He's a very seasoned veteran in these fields here, but you also got Nathan Donaldson and the young guys, Greg Luff, and also there Jason LaChance, who ran the 400 as well. But don't forget Richard Coleman, Paralympic champion in the 800, just blowing out some cobwebs in the 100 today. Reid McCracken, and then you've got Sam Carter, Sam McIntosh, so a very packed field here.
Now, Richard's been injured. He's coming back, apparently. So this is one of his... Is this one of his first events, the Australian Championships?
Missed Doha World Championships with glandular fever, so he's just really happy to be back out on that start line, and happy that he's got a few of his mates there with him as well.
Yeah, he was a team manager for the ASVIC team, the junior team over in Perth, so he's keeping himself involved.
Yeah, hard to keep him away. If he can't be on the track, he'll be at the athletics.
Yeah, there you go.
It was great chatting to him, and he's got a big meet as well coming up in Switzerland in May, where he can help qualify.
So Richard, Reid, Sam Carter and Sam McIntosh, probably Matthew Cameron, they normally head over to Notwell in Switzerland, a very, very quick track there.
I was going to say, when I was putting in a lot of Reid McCracken's records in Queensland, a lot of them were in Switzerland.
Yeah, they always send the guys over once a year just before qualifying ends to get those last times and quick times as well and get up on the rankings.
Must be a nice hard track over there in the mountains. And we're off from the inside. Donaldson, Cameron, Luff, McIntosh, Carter, McCracken, LaChance and Coleman. And it looks like Sam Carter now getting a brilliant start, and he's flying away. Matt Cameron pushing well, but Sam Carter flying there. A very hard right-hand turn. These guys are moving a lot quicker than the last race, and they've disappeared around the track with a hard right-hand turn, deciding to just roll it out instead of pull up before that wall, which would be a very hard pull up there. The wind to plus 0.7, so nice and quick there, and very good conditions.
Looking good for all hundreds. We've got the Ambulant hundreds next, and then we've got the semi-finals with the women's and men's. So
it's going to be exciting.
We keep talking about qualifiers, and it's really important for athletes, but also for those athletes who've just come along and also to want to just do a personal best, or to be able to walk away with a self-achievement that they are going to really enjoy.
Yeah, everyone taking away a great experience, whether it's a personal best, season's best, or an Olympic or Paralympic qualifier. Everyone out there is looking to do their best performances, and you can see there Lynchy again plus 0.7. So again, just showing now the administrators at this event and officials going to that effort to turn their wind around.
As you can see there, Sam Carter getting a brilliant start, flying off the line. Matt Cameron, who did the 400 yesterday, just there doing a little bit extra speed, but Sam Carter just way too strong and too quick over those last stages.
Just so powerful, absolutely powerful. It must be an area that you really got to focus on.
And we got Robbo down there with Sam Carter, the winner of the 100-metre wheelchair.
Thanks very much, Lynchy. I've got Richie Coleman down here, and he's just reflecting on that race there with me. Interesting tactics. He's just telling me the compensator that's on the chair here, it's designed to turn the chairs the other way, to the left, as you would go around a track, anti-clockwise. But, mate, you had your work cut out there, all the boys having to hook it around a sharp right. How was that?
Yeah, it's not usual. We have to come down the front straight. It's often down the back straight, and it's a new challenge for us. And it's pretty close to the brick wall here at the end of the straight, and it's hard for us to get around to the right, and we have to manually steer it, but it's good practice.
Training, how's it all shaping up for you, mate? As we said there to Angie, Rio's not too far away now. How's it all looking for you?
I've been doing some long mileage lately, and it's all base training still, and I'm looking forward to getting to Europe in May and trying to get these qualifiers, and it's going to be a long year, so I'm looking forward to it, but it's perfect weather out here today and a great crowd, and we love being here.
Excellent, mate. We love cheering you on. All the best for the rest of the season, all the way to Rio. Back up to you, Lynchy.
Thank you, Robbo. Yeah, very exciting. We got a few more para events to go. We've got the women's Ambulant 100, then the men's Ambulant 100, and then we're on to the semis. There'll be 3 semis, actually, down here today. So it'll be very, very cutthroat. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And with these conditions, a 0.7, it's really lucky they turned around. It's 1.7 to 0.7. That could change the difference between 0.02, 0.03, and sometimes that's a chance to make it into the final.
I must admit, Matt, it's one of the things as being a sprinter and now a coach of sprinters. It's just the first thing you notice. You try and not let it control. But, you know, as I said, for these athletes today, you want to have the perfect conditions. And I think what's better from today that we saw last night in the 100 is the fact it's been a lot warmer day. You know, whereas last night the track was cool. And it's a new track as well. There's been talk about it. We've talked about it. Actually, Brett, when you're talking about it, how about with apparently for the wheelchair races, it's tough for them, isn't it, on a new track like this?
Yeah, on the new track, you know, it's still sort of setting. You know, it's like a good haircut. It takes a week or so to get into its best form, so they'll you know, they really like it once it's been worn in and a bit hard. So they're still getting used to it. But again, another day of competition. So again, the semis and these finals, hard track, bit quicker again.
And we got Mossy there. He's at the Discus. He's got a Discus update for us.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. Down here, no real change. Matt Denny still leading 60-41. We're into the 5th round now. He's still yet to chuck. Alex Rose, well, he's from Claremont in the States, but represents Samoa with the Samoan background on his father's side. He's second with a 60-24. Julian Ruck, 56.91. A few guys have disappeared from us, but the 3rd place Australian at the moment is Mick Vasopoulos with a 50.94 down there in Victoria. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Mossy, for that update. We've got a few of those athletes changing allegiance from the United States to a few of their backgrounds. We've seen Jeremy Dobson do it, but we can see on the start list now, this is the Ambulant 100 metres from the inside. Scott Reardon, Abrana Chuladasa, Alexander Dwyer, Liam Malone, Chad Paris, Lindsay Hendy, Gabriel Cole and William Steadman.
Yeah, quality field there. You've got a few boys here going for their own sort of personal times here. You've got Scott Reardon, he's chasing that 12.48, A qualifier. Chad Paris, keep an eye on 11.03 for him. He'll have a good battle with Gab Cole. Gab Cole's actually an athlete, T47, athlete with a limb deficiency. Chad Paris is actually a vision-impaired athlete, the T13. And then you've got Scott, who's a T42, which is a unilateral above-knee amputation.
So it's going to be interesting. Chad Paris was on the Mossy and Robbo Snapchat questionnaire, and he actually can only see the finish line when he's 5 metres from the finish line. So very, very tricky to time your run. He has nicknamed himself the White Tiger, and you can see the tiger stripes. We just saw him out there.
Getting into his blocks, just getting ready, the White Tiger. Loves this atmosphere. Also, Liam Malone, the New Zealander, T43, he's a bilateral below knee amputee, so keep a lookout for him. He's a quality athlete as well.
Yes, talking about Scott Reardon, he got a gold medal last year in the 100 and 200, and as you said, he has to run that 12.48. 12.48. And if he does that today, which he'll be looking at, he's an automatic qualifier.
Automatic selection, because he's already been nominated for his previous achievements at London and at the World Championship. So if he does that here, he can lock down that spot.
Excellent. That's what you want to hear. Be nothing better than automatic and knowing you are already going. And you're like a couple of fair few months out from the championships. It'd be nice and relaxing.
Well, it makes a big difference because you can prepare, can't you? Trying to run fast is all about preparation and programming, and to be able to do that, and then you can also set up the races you need in preparation for the Olympics as well. So if you can nail it here this weekend, it makes life a lot more easier.
And we can see Danny in the ring for the 5th round. He's the leader of the competition. Gets a little bit more height on that one. And that's definitely better. 60-41 was his leading throw so far, and I think he might have just extended that. Might have to keep an eye on the scoreboard.
Maintain his lead going in the lap, round 6. Push his plane for a national title.
.47, so he's added another 6 centimetres onto his the previous lead. So he has extended it, not by much, but still a little bit trickier for those athletes to try and chase him down. It's definitely doable from the likes of Ruck, and we'll see what happens in those later stages. But Danny could be on his way. There's only one round left. He could get himself a double gold from the Friday, Saturday night competitions at the 94th Australian Athletics Championships.
You can see there Chad Paris just looking focused, hoping for a better start. He was a bit slow out of the blocks in his heat run. Gab Cole beat him away by a couple metres. He reeled him in at the end, but if he can nail that start, I think he'll be on his way to running close to that 11.03.
He's a very talented two-runner too. I've seen him go sub-22 before, so he probably does like that. The later top-end speed probably suits him a little bit better.
Yeah, Mel, you would know that being able to maintain that speed at the back end of your 100 and 200 makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It's a massive difference, and holding your form, really. I mean, it's not really panicking. But we were talking for the, lane 7 there with Gabriel Cole. I remember at the London Olympics, remember in the heat, and he pulled his hamstring.
Yep.
And just to be able to emotionally come back from that, and it's great that that he has. But there's moments like that in sport where a athlete has to pick himself up and dust himself off, and so I really hope for him that he'll have a really successful run tonight.
Bit of retribution.
Yep, and again for Gab there, 11.17 or 10.97 he's looking for, so he still hasn't done one of those yet.
And we are away. Gabriel Cole again, like you said, a very, very fast start, but watch for Chad Paris to come home late. It is Gabriel Cole. Paris closing very, very hard. And I think Cole has definitely taken the lead there and taken line honours. The win plus 1.4. We'll have to wait for the official results to see what those times were. Hopefully they pop up on the board very shortly, and we can see maybe they've gotten close to those A's and B's.
Yeah, definitely. Legal time there, so let's just check that result. 11.17 for Gab. That's what we're keeping our eye out for.
Well, how amazing was that start? I mean, honestly, it's just so impressive on how much power he got off the ground to get through, and his leg turnover was extraordinary.
It flies out of those blocks.
Yeah, got out hard and put the pressure on the rest of the field. They had to chase him down, and
just watch
we see this, yeah.
His reaction time and just the drive that he gets out on those 3 or 4 steps, it starts setting him up. And just trying to maintain it throughout, and you could see there, and he probably could see out the side that Paris was approaching, knowing as a fast finisher. But, we're going to send it down to Robbo because he's with our winner, Gabriel Cole.
Yeah, thanks very much, Mel. I've got Gab here. I've got the White Tiger as well, Chad Paris. And Gab, how was that run there tonight? Good field, and you had to work pretty hard, but you got the biscuits.
Yeah, it was fun. It's not often that we get to race each other. Every time we get stoked that happened.
Well done. You guys put on a great show. And what about you, White Tiger? What about the top here? This is fantastic. How do I get one of these?
Oh, look, if you work yourself hard enough, mate, I reckon I can get one for you.
Yeah, that's what you need. How's that run for you, mate?
Could see this bloke here, and I was just trying as possible, and well's what I do, but that's all right. I don't know what the time was, but...
Well done, guys. Well done, and we can't wait to see you. 200 again tomorrow?
No, not for me.
Right, Gab?
Depends.
All right.
There it is.
Boys, thanks for the chat as always. Back up to you, Lynchy.
Thank you, Robbo.
Okay.
We got Mossy at the Discus. Can you give us an update, Mossy?
8 competitors, 5 of those international. I could talk to you for a few days about that. So effectively, we do have our top 3 placed Australians. We just saw Michael Vasopoulos better his 4th round. He's now finished the competition with a 51.36 to be the 3rd place Australian. Julian Ruck, well, he continues to charge up as well, 58.74. But at the moment, it's still Matt Denny leading Alex Rose by the smallest of margins, just 23 centimetres here. And the boys are about to go into the ring for the final time. It's heating up down here. My heart's starting to pump. I can see big Matt Denny. He's excited as well. Can he get his first ever National Discus Throw Championship?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mossy. It is in the final stages of that discus. And there's still a few athletes who might be able to, pinch that spot. Ruck looks like he's going to go into the circle next, but there's the start list for the women's Ambulant 100. We've got Taylor Doyle, Tamsin Colley, Sarah Walsh, Ella Party, Anna Grimaldi, Erin Cleaver, Isis Holt, Jodie Elkington-Jones and Paige Greco.
Again, a variety of different classifications here, but we'll keep our eyes on lane 4 there, Ella Party. She ran an A qualifier in the Perth Track Classic running in the able-bod race. Ran a low 13 there, so she's already done her time, but she'll be looking to go close to that sub-13 second race.
And we've got Ruck there in the circle now, trying to move himself up the rankings. He needs a big one over 60, just holding on to that one a little bit too long, unfortunately. He'll be that second place Australian, third in the competition. We've got the Samoan athlete via the USA. He'll be stepping into the circle next.
You can just see Paige Greco and Isis Holt just doing a start there. But Isis Holt actually world record in a heat run today. Bettered her Doha world record by 100th, I believe. 14:57, I think she did. So she just keeps getting better and better.
What a sensation she is. I mean, after coming out from the World Championships last year, at such a young age, it's amazing.
And again, Mel, you would know, they did a World Championships in October, so close to the season. Can't really take a break. So to back up without having that break and a second peak is very, very good.
Oh, absolutely. And she made a big move too to Canberra from Perth.
Yeah, Ella's been doing some work over there. She's done there. Isis as well, working with Nick Wall in Victoria at the moment. Out on the edge here too. Good battle between Jodie Elkington-Jones and Paige Greco, both T37. So they have athletes with cerebral palsy. They're a hemiplegic athlete affecting one side of their body. But they're actually sort of going for a little battle for a relay spot possibly, because there is a 30s class relay up for grabs here.
Jodie, normally a long jumper.
Yeah, long jumper, but doing the 100 here, trying to get her spot on that team as well.
And coached by Nicole Bogman-Stewart.
One of the best.
She's already got third in the long jump this weekend.
Yep, I think day one, I think, for the competition for the para, she picked up that spot. Just see there, Tams and Colliella Party just focusing on their stuff.
So we got Denny. This is a victory throw for Matt Denny. He's getting the crowd behind him. This is his first discus title. He's adding to his gold that he won yesterday in the hammer. He's getting just a little bit flat. But Matt Denny will be your champion in the discus for the 94th Australian Athletics Championships. He's walked out the front, but he's done enough. 2 golds, 2 days of competition. Well done. He's only 20 this year. So this is his first year out of the junior age group.
I love the involvement, of the ambulant athletes being a part of this. And also, too, I'm noticing through grassroots level the pathways that are now coming for these athletes. I'm actually coaching a CP athlete as well. He's only 10 years old and he absolutely loves it. Yeah,
it's great. Now, as of 2015, I believe there was a fully inclusive pathway for para athletes all the way through from their school level to club level, all the way through to state and national championships. So it's just fantastic to see this fully inclusive atmosphere and sport we have.
And now with their inclusion into the para-athletes for Australian All-Schools and the Australian Junior Championships as well, so they get a chance to go away with those teams and get involved.
And at the Glasgow Com Games, or they're brought into, there's exhibition events, and a game will be featuring in the 2018 Com Games. So all major events now. Running with para-athletes.
Yeah, it's amazing how inspiring they are. I know with my young athlete, Jackson, he looks up to, athletes like we're seeing right here on the track now, and just the joy that they get out of performing, especially at the Sydney Olympic Park, is enough to keep them inspired, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and training as well. You mentioned training there, Mel. You know how hard it is trying to get that technique right, but carrying an impairment into that training and doing their best as well, it can be quite difficult. Yeah. So it's very, very inspiring for me also watching these guys.
Looks like Sarah Walsh not on the line at the moment, so lane 3 will be vacant. And we are away. Fast start there from Isis Holt with the New Zealander. Anna Grimaldi taking the lead. Ella Party chasing her down. And it's going to be a fight between Party and Grimaldi. Party getting the slight lead. Isis Holt coming home very, very fast. But Party will take line honours. Second across the line, Anna Grimaldi and Isis Holt. The Victorian, the youngster, And there's Ella Party giving a high fives to the crowds and made themselves a little beanbag for
That's my daughter there. She's on the right-hand side. You can tell she's having a fabulous time here at the Athletics.
Getting the most high fives I've seen during the live stream at the moment.
Enjoying that. So
there's Robbo.
Oh, Robbo.
Stealing a couple of high fives too. He's always a fan of a high five.
Gabriella follows him on Instagram, so she knows exactly who he is. But a great run, wasn't it, by Ella Party? She, didn't panic at all. And it was a great finish here. You can see that, she's down driving, knowing that at this stage it's all about pumping the arms, bringing the legs through, and she's had such an incredible season, hasn't she, Brett?
Yeah, she's been terrific. She was chasing that A qualifying. You can just see now she looks so much more relaxed and she's got that. We're going to go down to Robbo now with our winner.
Thanks very much, Brother Watto, and I'm here with Ella Party. And Ella, congratulations on a run there tonight. How was that one for you?
I felt really good. I just can't focus on what my coach told me to do. I'm proud that I'm here tonight.
Representing the mighty Western Australia. Now, Isis Holt's here as well. Isis, breaking your own world record in the heat earlier today, 13:54, was it?
Yeah, it was unexpected but amazing.
I haven't seen the time officially here. We'll wait and see. But that form that you showed over there at Doha, you've managed to sort of maintain that, and we've seen you continue to break your own world records. What's the secret?
Hard training. Training often and training hard has been the key, I think, and an awesome coach as well.
Very good, Coach Wolsey. I'm going to send it over to Lutzi, but thanks very much, girls, for the chat. Over to Lutzi at the high jump.
Robbo, early days here, mate, but some interesting stuff already happening. The bar's at 2:05 at the moment, and there's been clearances for Thomas Brennan. Also, Randhawa clear at 2:05.
Really?
Also, Nick Moroney currently in action with a clearance at 2 metres, and currently his next attempt will be at 2:05. Of course, many of you will know Nick Moroney, 7-time national champion. I think he had a 4th and the 5th at the Commonwealth Games from memory. He was the last of the Australian champion back in 2012. A PB of 2:25, and it's just terrific for athletics to see him still in the game with these younger athletes here today. And of course, still to enter the competition, Joel Baden and Nick Boyich. We believe that Boyich will come in at 2:13. Baden, when the bar gets to 2:09. Of course, the only qualifier at this stage is Brendan Stark, who's not competing here, but he competed, of course, in qualifying for the final of the World Champs in Beijing last year. So plenty happening. The big guns aren't in action yet, but the high jump well and truly underway here.
Yeah, thanks, Lutzi. Nick Moroney, I think he went 25 years of jumping 2 metres 10 at least. But we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with more action at the 94th Australian Athletics Championships. Here we are, we're back. Brett Watton's had to leave us now. He'll be back again later for the 1,500-metre wheelchairs down in the back. But we've got Mossy out there with the winner of the discus, Matt Denny.
Yeah, here we are in the ring with Denny. We're calling this segment here today. Matt Denny, Australian and national champion, mate. What does it mean to you?
Mate, I'm really happy. I'm glad I got the double and sort of reproduced, got another 60-metre throw. Disappointed with the distance, exactly like, trying to get the Rio calls. The main goal, but you live and learn. Just try and keep replicating and keep getting over 60 is the goal, and that's what I've done today. So,
well, we had pushing you all the way there today, Alex Rose, a Samoan. What was it like having him competing today?
No, it was good. I was glad I had some competition really getting close to me, because when it comes to main competition, I throw better and I I lift, and no matter what, I'll try and get it together. So I'm glad I had someone really close to me, really pushing me, because it was in the back of my mind I have to get a good throw out. So.
Now, mate, you've got a 8-week break before you can compete overseas. What are you going to do between now and then?
Yeah, so we're going to have a week off, just have a break, because it's been a pretty big season and stuff. So we're just going to have a break for a week, maybe head down to Canberra for a couple of weeks, do a big, heavy couple of weeks, and then just sort of keep building back into speed, and then lead into Europe and hopefully come out and throw big.
There you go, throw big. He's a big fella. We're in a big ring here, and I hope he's going to chuck big this year and get himself over there to the rear. He won the hammer last night. He's won the discus here. Matt Denny from Allora. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mossy. Yeah, 2 from 2. He should be pretty stoked with that. We can see now the semi-final. The women's 100 metres, Abby Tadeo, Maddie Coates, Kelsey Berryman, Melissa Breen, Maisie Stevens, Kana Ichikawa, Maki Wada and Fiona Morrison. Now, this is 3 semis, so it'll be the top 2 plus the next 2 fastest times. Now, the results won't come straight away. The clock isn't working. It is working, so I won't say that, but we won't see a result come up straight away. We'll have to wait for the results to come up. It's going to be tricky. We might have to get our stopwatches out, yeah.
I'll run down. I'll use my stopwatch. I'll let you know.
It's making it very challenging, isn't it, coming into it. But there's Melissa Breen in the bright pink. I know that her and her coach, Maddie B, will be very excited about it being turned around because, you know, unfortunately, Mel hasn't got an Olympic qualifier, so this would be a wonderful time to achieve that.
Yeah, she's run faster than it, but unfortunately it was windy over in Perth, but 11:32, that's the time to get, and it seems like these conditions are pretty good for the sprinting at the moment. Yeah, fast start on the outside from the Japanese athlete Wada, but now Breen into her running. She's in the fluoro in the centre of the field, and she's definitely taking control of this race. And it looks like very, very quick. The win plus 0.6. A quick pull up there from the athletes. We'll have to wait for those official times and see who took those minor placings, but once she got into a running, she just pulled away from the rest of the field.
I thought it was a great run by Mel. I mean, we've got to come back in a couple of hours to do the final, but one area that Maddie B was saying that they were focusing on was the first 10 metres, because in comparison to what she'd been doing when she, you know, ran the Australian record, 11:11, she's now needing to focus on that area, and you can see here she reacts and drives, and you know that's what's been important. That's what I've seen over the last, you know, few meets that she's performed here. But it's here, it's this transition of speed that she's getting, and you know that's what's also important. It's important to, you know, hold your form and be able to finish off.
She looks like she's worked on her knee lift. Her knee lift looks much higher, doesn't it?
Well, it's amazing. I ran into her in Canberra, and seeing her jump these hurdles was extraordinary. So a lot of pliers has been done, so it's really helping with that.
Yeah. I spoke to her on the warm-up track yesterday after her heat, and she's really relaxed. Really relaxed. So, I mean, obviously what her aim is tonight is to take the win, and she knows that she'll go to Japan and Europe and she'll do that time.
Well, that's what she said. She's not stressed about it, and that is the most important thing is, you know, trying to get a good performance, you need to be as relaxed as you can.
And we got Robbo down there with an update from the pole vault, actually.
Thank you, Lynchy. Yes, it's an hour into the competition down here now, and it's you got to be a little bit patient when you're following the pole vault, but I can tell you we're down to 5 athletes left, 4 of which are yet to have a jump. So I can tell you Emma Philippe, she's just cleared her first attempt at 380, and she'll have her next go at 390. And then coming in a little bit later on, 420, Liz Parnov has indicated her first jump, as will Vicky Parnov, and Jamie Scroop will come in at 420 as well. So that's the 5 that we've got, and we'll keep you posted. Emma Philippe on the runway right now, first crack at 3 metres 90.
Thank you, Robbo, for the update down there. Starting to get into those more serious heights. 4 metres 50 is the one they need to get to Rio, get that Rio qualifier out of the way. And I'm sure that's what all the girls are targeting. They're capable of it. We'll just have to see if they can do it on the day. The wind seems pretty consistent and tailwind, and I know the pole vaulters don't like a swirling wind, and I don't think that's what it's doing out there now. It's a little bit different up here. We are a little bit higher than the rest.
It's amazing how many events are affected by it, though, isn't it? Conditions.
Yeah, it's funny that event like the pole vault, where they do just run in a straight line, they don't use a wind gauge. Obviously, it's more of the side winds that it does affect it a little bit more. And their clearance, very, very handy clearance there, over 3 metres 90. But here is the next semi-final out on the track. Nakano Hitomi, Ellie Graff, Jess Paris, Toya Whistle, Zoe Hobbs, Ash Whitaker, Rimashika Rathnayaki and Larissa Pastanatsky.
This is an interesting one. Obviously, Jess Paris, the daughter of Nova Paris. Now, Mel, you've got a daughter that runs as well, don't you?
I do, actually. She's been down the end there high-fiving everybody. So it is great how, you know, you've got past athletes who are now, you know, got their young ones coming through, so it's exciting. And they're watching, you know, these athletes here. As we can see, we've got Ashley Whitaker there in the bright pink. Now, Ashley, I have found over the Grand Prix, or what we say, you know, part of the athletics tour now, she just keeps improving.
Yeah.
And what I saw yesterday in the heat was another step up, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how she goes here. And, of course, we've got Toya Whistle in lane 5, who, you know, bases herself up in Queensland, an incredible starter, and also Commonwealth Games representative, so this will be a good run.
Tough heat.
Yeah, Whistle away very quickly into her running in the Sri Lankan on the outside. Rathnayaki running well. This is what Whistle did yesterday. She got through a transition and flew away from the field. Whitaker now moving up into that minor spot. And I think Whitaker may have just hold on. Zoe Hobbs from New Zealand closing very quickly, but it looks like Whitaker minus 0.3. The wind for that race.
Oh, it's changing around, isn't it? Which is so frustrating. But Toya Whistle, gotta love her start. It's just sensational.
This is a tough one. So into the finals, only 2 fastest. Now, second in the first heat was from Japan. Yep. And first 2 in this one. It's pretty close.
Yeah, so just results from the previous semi. 11.49 for Breen and 11.77 there for Kana Ichikawa. The next Australian, Abby Tadeo, 11.92, was in 4th, actually.
So we could possibly have a few Australians miss out on the final because of the internationals, which...
Yeah, at the moment, we've only got one through automatically. So hopefully Whitaker got up there. It's actually happened before where Whistle's been a national champion. As she's been in Australia and she's an Australian club. Yeah. This is the Australian Championships for athletes in Australian clubs. So she can win the title. Yep. She does represent Papua New Guinea, but... We've got Lutzi out there for a quick update at the high jump.
And we have 3 athletes at this stage clear at 2:09, which is what the bar is right now. Thomas Brennan, as I mentioned earlier, also Joel Baden entering the competition at 2:09. And also Joseph Baldwin clear at that height as well at the moment. So we're still waiting for the action to happen here in the high jump. I can inform you moments ago, Nick Moroney, as I mentioned, the 7-time national champ, departed the competition after 3 unsuccessful attempts at 2:05. But the big boys starting to get involved here in the high jump.
Yeah, thanks, Lutzi. It's starting to get up into that rare air there. We see the West Australian just missing out on his second attempt at 2:09. And another very international semi-final again.
Yeah, you know, Tamsa makes a great point. You know, it is the national. It's great that you've got international visitors here because you can also bring the best out of our athletes. But, you know, we've also got Nanda here, who's out there performing from India. And, you know, she's been running so well and she also wants to get an Olympic qualifier.
Yeah, it is tricky. Sometimes there's relay options up on the spot, and sometimes it's just it's great to make the national final.
Yes,
yeah,
and you could finish. I remember one year in under 20s, I came second last, but I was the 4th Australian. So there was only 5 Australians even in the whole race.
Yep.
And you get that here. We may see later on in the 400 hurdles. There's only 4 Australians that made the final. So only one of them's going to miss out on a medal.
Do you know, actually at one stage we used to go to the British Championships and compete over there. That was in the 90s. And we ended up getting on the podium for about 2 or 3 years consecutive, that in the end they stopped us from coming because of that reason.
It was a big deal. Kelly Holmes, who then went on to win 2004, she complained about the Aussies being there and the internationals that she actually didn't run because she was that annoyed about it.
As you see here, Whitaker just getting pipped from Zoe Hobbs right at the end. So Whitaker's going to have to wait. They're not as quick as they were yesterday. Jess Paris yesterday running 11.75 and then just a little bit slower today. So
and that one was a headwind as well. So that makes it tough. And also, too, as we talk about, you can get the next 2 fastest. It all depends on you know, which heat you end up getting.
And it's a competition. That's why it's really tough. It's, you know, you see the middle distance races. There's often people who get run out in heats because they're in the slower heat and they still finish, you know, high up, and somebody with a better kick comes over the top. So it's a tough one. But the internationals, obviously, they can bring out qualifiers in our athletes. So there's a huge positive with having them here. But
yeah, there's a start list for the third semi. Jasmine Everett, Kendra Hubbard, Nadoko Seku, Christine Wern, Megumi Shimizu, Shrabani Nanda, Sarah Busby, Daniela Roman. Yeah, it's a fair start. The Japanese athlete's getting a quick start. And it looks like Nanda now, the Indian athlete. Busby running well. Christine Wern closing late. It's going to be very, very tight on the line there. It looks like Shrabani Nanda and maybe a very fast finishing Christine Wern. But we could see a lot of internationals in this final later on this evening. Minus 0.6. That win there. So if it keeps going like this later on, we can't switch them straight away now, but we could see it switched around again for the finals later on. They can run the normal direction a bit later.
And you probably need to make that decision, you know, closer to the event, because, you know, we've seen here within, you know, half an hour really from, you know, the wheelchair 100 metres.
1.7.
Yeah, to all of a sudden now. But, you know, that's the event, unfortunately, that can happen.
We go 4 metres on the bar in the women's pole vault. Still another 50 centimetres needed to get themselves that Rio qualifier. We see the yellow flag go up, meaning 15 seconds left in your attempt. And I don't think she'll get back in time to have another crack at that, so that'll be a red flag.
the wind dying is a good thing, though, for the middle distance races and perhaps the 400s that are coming up later.
At the moment, I'd like that kind of win for a 400.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that because the men's 8 is going to be a great race. Obviously, there's a lot of athletes that are trying to book that plane ticket to Rio. And then the women's 15, as Benita said earlier in the night, it's going to be a tactical affair. And those girls will be watching each other and really also wanting to book their top 3 spots. So some of them have got qualifiers, but others can go chase standards. So... And the 400s, wow.
Oh, I can't wait for that. The 400s are going to be sensational.
Yeah, especially with the girls knowing almost, or more than 12 months beforehand that they are definitely sending a 4x4 team. And I don't think, has that happened for a few years in Australia, knowing that far ahead that there's definitely a 4x4?
The exciting thing I think we have to mention is that the 4 girls and the 2 reserves who were over there and got the girls qualified, they won't necessarily, and I know that not all of them are going to be picked for this team, and they helped really boost the stocks of women's 400 here and make it really exciting to be part of that 400 team. You've seen athletes like Monica Brennan step up, and you know, Jess Thornton, the youngster's going to try and make her first senior team at such a young age, but with such huge talent. So, you know, you got to thank those girls who went over there, did the hard yards, and got the team qualified. They're a close knit unit, and the stronger your reserve is, the better the team is.
And it's good to see some of our 2 runners who are probably great 200 runners in Australia, maybe not in the world, but moving up to that 400.
Yep.
And I think we've got Lutzi down there at the high jump for an update.
We do indeed, and Joseph Baldwin's currently about to attempt what will be his first attempt at 2:13. That's where the bar is at the moment. The only one clear at that height, Thomas Brennan, just moments ago. So a few in the running there at the moment. Joel Baden opened the competition with his first jump of the comp at 2:09. He was successful there. Nooraj Rendawa as well, the Malaysian, was clear at 2:05. He actually passed at 2:09 and coming back into the competition here. And Nick Boyich, who has yet to enter the competition, it looks like will do so right here at 2:13 as well. So Baldwin's next up, but as we mentioned, the high jump comp, everyone should be in once Boyich starts shortly.
There we go. We did see the Malaysian athlete take a clearance just over your left shoulder there, so that was great. We see the bar still at 4 metres in the pole vault. Last attempt. Just unfortunately, plenty of height there.
Plenty
just
of height.
The upright's probably a little bit too far back, I'd say.
Well, that's one of the things that is just so important, isn't it? It's where you land your pole and how far you are before the takeoff, and it can either work really well or it can be incredibly disappointing.
And the stiffness of that pole, like you can just see, she was, she had the height there and just couldn't quite get her body at the right angle. But she should take a lot of heart from that.
Yeah.
A lot of heart.
Joseph Bolden just missing his first attempt at 2:13. In that men's high jump competition. Still early days. 2:29. The Olympic qualifier. We won't see Stark out there, who's already jumped 2:29, 2:31. So his jump at the World Champs counts for his qualifier.
In the final, how good are our high jumpers over there? They were brilliant. Absolutely sensational and still so young. Got a lot of talent in both high jumps.
Which is exciting, isn't it?
Exactly.
Really
pushing
exciting.
each other.
But I'm finding it across all events. You know, the depth is really coming through. I mean, if you look at our World Juniors team, the World Championships under 20 that they're going over to Poland, you know, the depth that you've got there now is extraordinary.
On the flip side, you've seen some heartbreak with that World Junior team. It was so good to see the battles out there, but it's always so disappointing when you see the athletes, say, was it Declan Carruthers in the pole vault who missed that spot? And, I mean, he's got a height that's probably would push for a medal, but you had to leave one out. You know, like it's really tough, but it's brilliant. You're right, Mel. It's so good to see because the competition that you have as a junior, it develops you into those senior ranks. You know, it makes you such a much better. We saw it with you. You guys, the best battle I've ever seen was watching the 200 metres of you, Mel, against Kathy Freeman. They were the best races at national championships, always at the back end. You'd both run your 100, she'd run her 4, and then you came together. And some of the best races that I think the championships we'll have ever seen will obviously have those races in it. But you'd have to say yourself, it made you a better athlete when you got to Europe against the world-class comp.
Absolutely, and that's what I like. You know, we'll see, you know, later with Morgan Mitchell and Annalise Ruby. You know, those two, I think, will really create a great rivalry between the two of them, and they keep racing. Yeah, that's what I love.
It's good.
You need to just keep racing, and they keep, you know, backing up, and you know, and even makes it exciting for tonight to see who's going to be the winner.
I think that's a really key point. Athletes somehow along the way forgot that racing's really important, and if you were in that 90s era, and you know, I was so fortunate to grow up watching you guys, you'd go down to an interclub and you'd have on one lane Nova Peris, Lee Naylor, Kathy Freeman, Lauren Hewitt. These girls are superstars, like, you know, so you'd be lining up against them, and that's just at a Thursday night interclub.
Yep, that's
right. And it made like a junior athlete lining up against one. It was a great experience. You'd go to school the next day and you'd be pretty chuffed to tell your friends. But two, when you finally got over to those World Juniors or to the senior teams, you were tough. You were built tough.
And you felt that level before as well. So you've put yourself out in that. And especially, so we've got two girls running 51 seconds now, which I don't think it's happened for quite some time.
No, and then you've got Jess Thornton knocking really strongly on that door.
She could do anything.
Yeah, she is a talented young lady. Yes. And it's exciting to see. I'm really looking forward to that women's 400 because all three of them run so differently.
Yep.
And the lane draw is very interesting. I saw Annalise out the back. She was heading to the warm-up track, and she looked really calm, relaxed, and she's drawn the plumb inside lane of the top lane draws of the middle. And Morgan's got a good lane too. And then you've got Jess Thornton, the youngster, who doesn't have that experience at senior level. She's got the outside, but gee, she has great leg speed.
Yeah. 23-200 runner already.
Yeah.
Who I think can go faster.
So let's just say she runs like a cut snake out there in the outside lanes. She could be leading coming into that front straight.
Well, when you're young, you're invincible, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's it. You know, there's no fear. And when you're fearless, that's when anything can happen.
Dangerous. Very dangerous when you're a senior racing against those sort of juniors. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that 400.
And it's not as if Ruby and Morgan are old athletes either out there.
Yeah. And what's Morgan? She's only 22.
22, 23, and Ruby's only a year older than her.
Yeah. Isn't that exciting going forward?
It
That's
is.
a great, and you know what, the girls are going to build that women's 4x4 team to hopefully this Olympics, you know, if they run those 51s and can push for 50-point splits, they can push on that final. But then imagine what they could be capable of doing at the Olympics after that, Tokyo.
So Liz Parnov there clearing 4:20.
And the faster athletes are domestically. You just watch it happen. In 2000, I think there were 7 girls under 52 seconds. 7.
Yes.
7.
That's right.
We even had people that were 200-metre runners trying to be in the team right now.
It. And in the 200, there was 5 that had done qualifiers, Olympic qualifiers.
That's crazy.
So when you came to a championships like this, you knew if you weren't in the top 3, you weren't going to be picked.
Yep.
But it brought the best out of us. And I think moving into the, you know, I'd say newer generation, which is Sally Pearson, she's another one that just keeps, you know, racing and racing and racing.
She's
and that's
brilliant.
why she's the Olympic champion, and that's why she's been so incredible.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's definitely spurred on a lot of our hurdlers coming through as well. Having her steam forward does create that next generation of people who want to hurdle.
Well, look at Michelle Jenica.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, she's had an incredible 12 months and continues to. Yeah.
Qualifiers, you saw that was the most intense race, I think, of the under-20 championships in Perth.
Yeah.
There were so many girls going for the qualifier, and you could see how much they wanted it in their juniors, and they didn't have that experience yet. And, it was heartbreaking to watch.
I think that's happened maybe the last 3 World Juniors, so 2014 and 2012, we've had athletes who have qualified actually hit the deck in that girls. Yeah, in 2012, Abby Tadeo hit the deck. She actually was the only one who got qualified, so she did get to go. And the next year, Hannah Jones hit the deck as well, so she had a qualifier. So it does put the pressure on.
Heartbreaking. So, Mel, talking about that 4x4, you in 2000 obviously wanted to be part of that team so badly. You moved from 200 to the 400. Ella Nelson, could she do it as well?
Well, they're trying to, aren't they?
Yeah.
We've got the star list here. Now we're off to the men's semi-finals. Same again, 3 semis. First 2 next to Isaac Walson, Benjamin Hayward, WK Himarsha Airshan, Jared Geddes, Jin Soo-jung, Jack Hale, Liam Gander, Rodman Teltel. Now, this is a tough semi, I've got to say. The Sri Lankan Airshan's a 10.26 guy, and sometimes with some of those times, we haven't seen him run before. He proved it out here. He ran 10.3. Jack Hale pulled up, cruised 10.38. Jared Geddes is out there. He's a 10.30 guy. Jin is a 10.20 guy. We've got the Palawian national record holder who's getting faster and faster. Carried the flag at the London Olympics for Palau. He's out there on the outside. He got bronze at the Queensland Champs. So I think it's going to take a 10.4 at least just to make it through to the final.
Well, regarding Jack Hale yesterday, watching his heat, he pulled up about 20 metres ago, and he ended up running a 10.38. Now, he got second at the under-20 championships, Australian championships, where he ran a 10.31. You're sitting there watching it, and you go, what if he didn't pull up? He had the perfect conditions. I think it was a 1.4 tail. Yeah, but he's had so much attention, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he's had a really big couple of weeks. It was Storgift last week. Had a couple of hard races there as well.
On the grass, it's tough.
Yeah.
Chasing those front markers. He did a great job.
He did.
He did a great job.
So I'd say the 2 favourites so far after the heats would be the Sri Lankan Airshan and we'd have to say Jack Hale. Very good running in the heats yesterday, but that was 24 hours ago. A lot can change. We'll see who can back up, and we're going to have to see these guys in an hour or so later on to close out the show. It's the last event at 8:10, so got a nice little break there. First 2, followed by the next 2 best times. Meet record 10.08, Josh Ross in 2007. That's the fastest by an Australian in Australia. And 10.16, the Rio qualifying time. And we're away. Jin getting a fast start, and Ishan, the Sri Lankan, as they get into their running. Ishan's moving away from the rest of the field, but here comes Jack Hale as well. And Hale flying at the end. That is fast. And I think Jin Soo-jung might have just got there. The win plus 1.1. That's a good race.
Oh, Jack Hale is devastating over that last 20 metres. I mean, he got a pretty good start for him and just really powered over that later stages of the race, and he just keeps on improving and improving, and that's a one now. It's turned down to a 1.1 tailwind.
10.36.
10.36.
Second fastest run he's had, and his top speed is just, it's devastating.
It is devastating, and for someone so young, I mean, we all know that speed is all about power, and power is built over a period of time. The older you get, the stronger you get, but it is impressive.
Yeah, he did get away to a good start. Ishan, the Sri Lankan, just really quick out of the blocks, but once they get into their running, just that turnover.
He's a kid, like you can see from the start, the stronger guys just have a bit more power out of those blocks. But what about how cool, calm and collected he is when they're a little bit in front? He relaxes. That's such a hard ability to have under pressure, to relax. And he's got that naturally at this age. This kid's got serious talent.
And we got Robbo down as we see one of our athletes just hitting the bar. Robbo, down at the pole vault.
Yeah, thanks very much, Lynchy. That's Nina Kennedy there, and she's getting another X at the 420 height. So that's 2 fouls for her at that, and Jamie Scroop also on 2. So the pressure on these 2 girls, and it's up to these 2 and the Parnovs to battle it out for the medals here tonight. And I can tell you, coming in shortly will be Liz. She'll have her first crack at 4:30, and Vicky will also be having an attempt at 4:30 as well. So it's all up to Jamie Scroop, the South Australian now. This is her 3rd and final crack at the 4:20 mark. So let's see how she can go, and hopefully we can get Nina Kennedy over as well.
Yeah, it's getting into the serious business there. We've got a few World Under-20 champ, well-experienced athletes. Both Parnovs, I think, have got a silver medal each from their experiences at the youth or juniors. And Nina Kennedy and Emma Philippe both went to the 2014 champs in youth. So they're going for their 2nd tour.
Wow, I'm enjoying watching Paul Burgess on that screen in the background. Obviously, he was an amazing jumper. He'd like this track, I would think. He won the World Juniors here in 1996. And he's a 6-metre vaulter. What a talented guy he was.
And I think his under-20 record might be under threat by, say, Curtis Marshall,
Yeah.
Declan Crothers and Angus Armstrong. They're pushing those barriers.
He's such a laconic guy, always has been. He'd be rapt to see it broken, and he'd be the first person cheering him on, I'd reckon.
So at the moment, Jin Soo Jung at 10:47 is the quickest of the non-automatic, with Jared Geddes next on 10:58. So we're going to have to wait and see. But nice sprinting conditions here. There it is. So Jack Hale, 10:36. Jin, it's tough from our angle when instead of being right on the finish line, we're now 90 metres away. But the Sri Lankan holding on, 47. Jin Soo Jung, 45. Jin, 47. And Jared Geddes, 58. So, yeah, 47 and 58 there so far into the final, but we obviously haven't had the next 2 semis yet, so they'll be waiting with bated breath. Jin, bronze medalist from 2014, and I think he finished with a 4th or a 5th last year with a 10:34, so at the moment it's looking like a 10:4. It's getting you through to the final.
I'm still in shock at how much he won that by. That was a great run.
There's semi 2, Kazuya Murata, Lachlan McDermott, Nick Andrews, Mitchell Williams, Benuve Tambakatoro, Alexander Hartman, Joel B and Joshua Ross. Now, we've got a couple of good juniors in this race. Lachlan McDermott, he's in the 4x1 for the World Under-20 champs, and Nick Andrews, probably the unluckiest junior.
Yes. Yeah.
An under-20 to run 10:39 and come 3rd.
Yeah, you talk,
Lucky you can hurdle.
Well, you talk about an era where there's a lot of depth, and that's exactly why he's being so successful, because he's got other guys that are pushing him, to be the best in that age group.
Yeah, and Lachlan McDermott, probably he's got the slowest PB out of anyone in that 4x1, and it's 10:59. You don't see that very often, but there's Josh Ross, 3rd fastest Australian in history, 10:08. Done at 2007. We've got Alexander Hartman, equaled his PB in the heats, 10:29. Benuve Tambakatoro, 2nd across the line last year with a 10:26. He's got a PB at 10:22. Mitchell Williams Swain, one stall. He's run 10:25. He nearly won stall again when they said he false started. Yes. Still only just lost. So we could see some very fast times. Only 2 can get through automatically, so it's going to be tough.
Hartman was great in Brisbane. He's strong, and you got to look for him at the back end of the 100 here. He's in great shape, but it's interesting to see Joel and Josh training partners on the outside together. Josh is an interesting one to watch.
Big clearance there, Nina Kennedy stoked. Last attempt there and easily clear. She's got to be happy with that.
The sentimental person in me would love to see Josh take this heat, because you'd want to see him make that.
He did in 2012. Didn't even run the trials, and then he comes out and wins the Nationals in 2012 with a B.
Yes.
So
I've been really impressed with Alex Hartman, how, he, over the last few meets, especially in Brisbane, he looked impressive. And for such a tall man...
He loves running.
But the way he even gets out of the blocks. And I think the fact that he has an Olympic qualifier as well in the 200 can make you relax. But he hasn't got a national title in the 100 metres, and that's what they're wanting as well.
Yeah, 2nd last year, and he was actually 2nd across the line in the 2 last year. Benuve actually beat him, so he has never been the 1st across the line.
Yeah.
He's been the 1st Australian. Maybe he can take out the 1. And we're away. Andrew's getting a good start, but so is Alex Hartman. Very big, quick start for a big man, and he's starting to get into his running. He's flying away. Looks like Benuve may just sneak in there for the second, but Alex Hartman plus 0.7. When a big man like that gets a good start, it's hard to pull him back.
But how good does he look? I mean, we saw it yesterday in the heat. We've just seen it again, and you just, talk about starters. The more compact you are, people are under the opinion that you can, get out quicker, but those long levers and the drive he gets out, and once he gets into full flight, it's just absolutely beautiful to watch.
10.31 for Alex Hartman, so he's very, very consistent. Last year at Nationals, he ran 10.30. He ran 10.31 in January, and now he's run 10.29, 10.29, 10.31.
Just watch him here. From this angle here, just the drive that he's getting, his turnover of speed, his strike rate underneath his body is just beautiful to watch. He just makes it look incredibly easy.
And good to see him dipping at the right line as well. We've had a few trouble last time in Melbourne where they were dipping at the wrong line, but we got Lutzy down there at the high jump to give us an update.
Yeah, third attempt at 2.17 at the moment. So Baden currently out there. He had a good clearance at 2.09, passed at 2.13. As I said, at 2.17, the bar's currently. Moments ago, Nick Boyich, who have been told under the tutelage of Gary Bourne, has been in some great form the last couple of weeks. In warm-ups, he jumped 2.20 nice and easily, and he just had 3 unsuccessful attempts at 2.17. So no Boyich. Already clearances at this height for Takahari Hironi, the Japanese, and also Nuraj Randawa from Malaysia, and Thomas Brennan clear at 2.17 also as the final of these competitors as their last attempt at that height.
Now, very good. I think we just saw Joel Baden over your back shoulder there get his third attempt. He's a 2.29 guy. He needs to do that again to get that Olympic qualifier, but I think he might be able to.
That was a huge clearance. That was an amazing jump. So, brilliant effort. He's in shape. I think he could push for it.
Yeah, he's definitely done it before, so he's got it.
He can do it
legs.
Again. I reckon that bar, if it was up there, it probably would have been that then.
Yeah, that's the problem I was saying earlier. You can only jump what's in front of you, unfortunately. Wait, maybe we need to work out some laser system where it goes across and it checks how high you actually do get over that area.
That's a good idea.
That's the future, though. We'll have to go to the future. Then it'll be long jump. You get 6 attempts.
Well, they do it with the long jump to tell us how far off the board they are, so we can work out actually how far their jump is. So it'd be nice to do that. Speak to your people, Matt, for us.
I will. If I had people that did that kind of thing, I'd have them. Maybe I'll get some surveyors or something to work on a laser system. Bar in the pole vault now up to 4.30 metres. 4.50, that's the magic mark for those girls.
It's such a long competition, the pole vault. They are out there for a really long time.
There it is, Benuve Tambakatoro in second. Nick Andrews, 10.48, so now he's slipped into the fastest non-automatic qualifier, so it's now 48 and 47. That's Jin and Nick Andrews, and Nick should be loving this. He's getting a chance, really only just coming through in the hundreds this season, and could find himself in a national final in the Opens.
Well, he's made an impact, hasn't he, this season?
He's got a great start.
He does.
That's a hurdler. Getting a good start, it's what they do, and still got some great runners to go.
Excited to see Stubbs run in this
Aaron Stubbs. Now, you talk about rivalry. You could have a great one between him and Alex Hartman, which we've seen. I mean, for them to have each other, to push each other, is just been fantastic. And Aaron as well, he ended up winning in Canberra. He also at the IAAF World Challenge. But then, came third just recently in Brisbane. So
yeah, exactly. So here's the semi-final 3. Will Johns, Matt Carter, Jake Hammond, Aaron Stubbs, Saya Casano, Joseph Miller, Ben Jaworski and Isaac Tiamoa. Now, not only that, Joseph Miller, who was second up in Queensland, he told us before not to say that he's the national champ. He's not the national champ of New Zealand because he came over and did the IAAF World Challenge instead. But he's the fastest New Zealander.
Yes, fastest.
So, and he's
I think
always
that's better,
around.
Isn't it? The fastest.
That still counts. It's still better.
Counts, yeah.
Now, he's run 10.32 as his best, but this year he's run 10.33, I think, 3 times. So he's so close. And I think he'll probably do that again. Stubbs, very, very quick. Doesn't always get the best start, but his transition, his 30 to his 60 is just ridiculous. Gets the hips under, and then he pulls away from the rest of the field.
Well, that was one of the things he was disappointed about yesterday in his heat. He said the first 15 metres, was where he really struggled with it. So that'd be something over the last 24 hours he focused on. And, to be able to get out, because that's going to make a big difference. You're talking about 100 metres.
Yeah. And it's broken down into little sections. He's very technically minded, Aaron Stubbs. So he'll be definitely working on that. You might hear some claps in the background. Joel Baden having his first attempt at 2:21. It's oh no, sorry, it's our Malaysian athlete. He's gone clear. If you can hear those claps, let's hope they settle down before this race starts. And we've got a clean start. Jaworski, Stubbs and Miller getting good starts. And Miller and Stubbs pulling away from the field. Stubbs in. This is the area that he loves the most. And he's done it. Take it out. Miller in second. I think Jaworski may have just got up there for the third place. It's going to be tricky. The wind minus 0.2.
Well, he definitely rectified that first 15 meters today.
That was a good start.
It was a good start. It was impressive. It's going to make it a very interesting final. Okay, they'll have a couple of hours. They'll go back. You know, the preparation going into a final. Do a little bit of a warm down, a little bit of a stretch, and it was later on. It'll be all about delivering it at the right time.
That's exactly right. We check out that replay. And TMO there is a member of the 2012 Olympic final making relay, but 10:39 there. So I think we may see the fastest runners from those minor heats. We'll have to wait 10:48 and 10:47. If Jaworski got up there for the bronze position, third place, they'll get there eventually. Miller getting second.
He looked comfortable too. He obviously just wanted to qualify. Is it tough, Mel, when you have a semi and a final in the one night?
Look, it's something you definitely get used to.
Okay,
and that's why, you know how we were talking about before, races and backing up races is important. That's why if you come out to, you know, say you're here at the Sydney Track Classic, if you've got a 1 and 2, make sure you run the 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because it's all great, say, you know, for an athlete to run, say, 11:50. But if they want to keep running 11:50 or 11:30 and 11:30, you've just got to keep having the hard races.
Yeah, because, I mean, the mental state that you have to go through the call room, you have to fire yourself up, especially for 100. You really have to fire yourself up to make sure that you qualify for that final. But then they've only got about an hour and a half, an hour 40 to get back and warm down, maybe do their usual routine, whether it's ice bath, I'm not sure, ice massage, and chill out, and then they're warming up again. Your legs are a little bit fatigued, and
you wouldn't do as much warm up as you normally like obviously you did before the semi-final, but I mean that's all practice too, and the more experience you have you know, doing the event, then the easier it does become.
Are you disadvantaged if you're in the third semi?
No, not necessarily. No, not really. I think when you're dealing with, you know, running 10:20 or 10:30, it's a different scenario. Yeah. It's like also too.
They do worse at training.
Yeah, that's
They've got an hour 20 till the final. I'm sure they run reps on 4 minutes break.
So you don't have to go through that mental state.
Yeah, it's
you know?
true.
Like
you are sitting down for a bit before it as well.
You can see it. It's the most intense atmosphere in an athletic environment. It's that 100-metre start, you know.
And that's it. And everyone's thinking about the start. Yeah. And you know what is really challenging is for an athlete with not as much experience, if you don't get a good start, you know, don't think it's all lost. No. Because there's still the opportunity, you know, to be able to run them down.
The race isn't won on a reaction.
No. We saw that with Jack Hale in the first semi-final. He wasn't first out and he wasn't first to 10, but he was first across the line by a heck of a lot.
That running at stall could have helped him with that relaxation of, I have to chase them.
Still an amazing ability to have at someone so young. It's an amazing ability to have naturally. So he's got a bright future, Jack.
Joseph Miller there, second in that one, 10:50. So we will see Jin Soo-jung and Nick Andrews in the final.
It's good to hear.
Later on.
Very happy to hear that.
It's going to be a very quick. It's a couple of internationals. We've got a Sri Lankan, a Fijian, and New Zealander, Joseph Miller. And we are missing 2 of our best sprinters, Tom Gamble. Bit of an injury still on his Achilles, and Josh Clark.
And, you know, it wasn't that sad to see. I mean, early in the season, does an Olympic qualifier. I mean, even at the Hunter Track Classic, before he did the Olympic qualifier, he looked amazing. He was so close into a headwind.
10:38 into that giant headwind.
And then comes out in Canberra, does one. You're thinking, this is going to be beautiful to watch. And then, unfortunately, gets a little bit of an injury.
tongue that way, so if you stand.
Ladies and gents, I'm joined by some very special guests on track right now. But before we move into the proceedings, I'd like to, on behalf of Athletics Australia, like to show my respect and acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, of elders past and present, on which this event takes place this evening. Joining us this evening to my left is the Athletics Australia President, Mark Arbib, who'll be assisting me with presentations and awards this evening. We'd like to welcome him to the Australian Athletics Championships. And we're also joined this evening by 3 recipients of awards for their efforts in 2015. And I'd like to now introduce them now as Mark presents them with their trophies. The first recipient tonight is the 2015 Coach of the Year, with the winner being Nick Beddoe. Nick is the coach of Eloise Wellings, Ryan Gregson, Collis Birmingham and Jen LeCars, among others, of the 2015 IAAF World Championships team. Wellings' performance in the 10,000 metres was the best by an Australian at Beijing 2015. Our second award winner tonight, the 2015 Para Athletics Coach of the Year, Louise Savage. Louise, of course, a remarkable athlete in her own right, has made a seamless move to coaching, working from the New South Wales Institute of Sport. She coaches Maddie De Rosario and Angela Ballard, with both becoming world champions in 2015. Angela also is now the world record holder in her wheelchair 400-metre event. And rounding out our recipients, Richard Lavish, who won the Special Awards Committee, declared the Volunteer of the Year for 2015. Richard is the Victorian Officials Committee, also National Education Lecturer, International Officials at Oceania Championships, the track referee at the Australian Athletics Championships, and regular contributor across the Australian Athletics Tour. We might have a quick question each with each of our recipients this evening. Nick, congratulations. It was a fantastic year for you, 2015, and you must be very excited with how your squad's looking heading into Rio.
Yeah, it's been good so far, but we're only about halfway. We've still got a fair bit to do. Rio's not till August, so we're happy and excited about it, and looking forward to doing the rest of the work and having a big time at the Olympics.
Congrats, mate. Well done. Louise, of course, wheelchair racing we're seeing showcased here again this evening. It's fascinating in the I guess, the playoff between tactics and pure talent, and you were one that mastered both in your career as an athlete, and now you're helping other athletes do the same.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to be here at the Nationals, and we look forward to, of course, going on to Rio. So, yeah, my guys have qualified, so I'm really happy.
Great to have you here tonight. And Richard, of course, presumably everyone here tonight, all these officials have other duties, all the volunteers in their life, other commitments. What makes you so passionate about athletics and keeps driving you to be a very important part in this sport?
I think as a former athlete, you appreciate what goes into the sport, and this is probably some way of actually contributing back into the sport to support our athletes achieve their best.
Well, congratulations.
The opportunity to do so, so that's what we're all about.
Richard, congratulations this evening. Well done. Give a round of applause to our 3 recipients, ladies and gents, as the action continues, and also thank Mark, of course, the Athletics Australia President, Mark Arbib, for his efforts tonight in helping us award these recipients.
Sydney Olympic Park. Get into life.
And we're back here at the 94th Australian Athletics Championship. Benita Wills is joining me again in the stream booth. So we've got another final set to go. It was Benita's highlight, you may have heard earlier, of the night, the women's 1,500-metre final. Now, we've had a development.
Yeah,
Benita.
I've seen that Melissa Duncan, she hurt her ankle last week and ran on it in the heats, and she's just pulled out of the final. So unfortunate for her, but I think this is going to make this final quite an interesting race now that Melissa's out.
Yeah, exactly. So Melissa was the only one with the Olympic qualifying time.
Oh, and Zoe Buckman.
Zoe Buckman.
Yep.
And Zoe, all she has to do is win, and she can be put forth to the AOC to be nominated. But there's a start list. Holly Campbell, Amy Harding-Duluth, Heidi C, Lyndon Hall, we won't say Mel Duncan, Zoe Buckman, Bridie Delaney, Tina Harris, Jenny Blundell, Gemma Maney, who did the 5K last night, Melinda Wichard, and Caitlin Simpson. Now, we've got an athlete in there, Amy Harding-Duluth. She's going to the World Under-20 Championships later on for the 1,500. Heidi C, reigning champion. Jenny Blundell was almost undefeated for half the season, and she picked up a bronze medal in 2014. So she's got a pretty good kick on her. She swamped Mel Duncan at the Hunter Track Classic 1,500 early in the year.
Yeah, and they've just showed Zoe Buckman there, and she ran really well last year, and she's coming off an injury, so she's also the other person that's got the qualifier other than Melissa Duncan, and Zoe's a really fast athlete, but I don't know that she'll take it out. So this is going to be a very interesting race. Heidi C is a very good championship racer. She won the Sydney Track Classic 2 weeks ago, and Lyndon Hall is another one to watch. Now, she's been over in America at college, and she's a very good racer but doesn't have the time. So it's going to be a very, very interesting final.
Yeah, was this towing the line? It's a long hold. Yeah, I thought they might stand them up there. It's a long time to be down like that.
You get the knee wobbles. Something you don't need before the start of a 1,500.
No, definitely not. There we are, away from the inside into number one. Holly Campbell, Amy Harding-Duluth, Heidi C, Lyndon Hall, Melissa Duncan out of the race, Zoe Buckman, Bridie Delaney, Tina Harris, Jenny Blundell, Gemma Maney, Melinda Wichard, and Caitlin Simpson.
Yeah, so we see that Zoe's gone straight to the front there, but just slowing it down, and Caitlin's just coming up on her shoulder, and Zoe's got the time, so she doesn't need to run fast, but she wants to win this race. So she's going to be wanting to run tactically, and there's other girls that need the time, but see how bunched it is. It just means that it's really, really slow.
Scares me when it's like this. Obviously, it can be quite dangerous.
Yeah, and unfortunately, these middle distance races, this is a championship race, so it's going to be very interesting, and tactically, it's going to be who can finish the best in the last 300, because they need to be on the pace from the start to run that Olympic qualifier that's 4:07 flat.
You can see what happens when you get checked. Bridie had put herself into quite a good position, Delaney I'm talking about, and she's now gone from that good position to right at the back. She got spat out just because of the check that she copped.
Yeah, very, very close there. A lot of stop starting, which is going to make it tricky. Might take a little bit of juice out of the legs. Now, Zoe was a finalist in the World Champs, 15
she
or 13?
13.
13. So
she had an injury last year which kept her out. But, I mean, she obviously to be so... You know, we were talking about her being a medalist after the way she ran through the round.
Yeah,
through the round.
Strong.
Of 2013 in Moscow. She knows she's a world-class athlete. So even though she's coming back from injury still, it was a pretty bad injury. You know, you still can't write her off in a field like these girls, because she knows how to win them.
Yeah, and she's been coming up every race since she's been back racing off her injury, so I'd expect her to be better today than she was even 2 weeks ago. And
good on her, because it's really tough having been from the highs of the high of a World Champs final to being to the lows where you know you're not quite fit. And if you don't have the fitness and race hardness, the 1,500 is pretty hard to toe the line. So she's a gutsy athlete, and it's brilliant to see her performing on the Australian circuit in here tonight.
So they're through 700 metres. Caitlin Simpson, Gemma Maney, Heidi C, Zoe Buckman tucked on the rail there. Jenny Blundell, Amy Harding-Duluth. They're all very, very close together. Only a couple of metres.
Tough
about to go through 800 metres.
Yeah, and they're just biding their time there. I think that lap was a 72-second lap, so the second lap was a bit slower than the first lap. So, you know, the race is going to be on. It's just going to see now who's the fastest over the last 600, or when someone makes a move.
Yeah, it's always interesting at this point of a tactical affair to see who the athlete is that's willing to make the first move. They're still a long way from home, so I'm tipping that they'll be holding off as long as they can, especially those girls who are the ones that we're trying to watch from previous form on the circuit. Heidi C's been running really well, and Jenny Blundell and Lyndon Hall.
Yeah,
and they're
she's
right
getting
up
herself
there.
in good position there, just on the outside of lane 1. But Caitlin Simpson's still in the lead. Heidi C, Blundell on her right, Zoe on the inside, Lyndon Hall on the outside. 450 metres to go in this 1500 metres, and it could be anyone's. Right now, it could be anyone's race.
That's right, and Jenny Blundell from that same group as Millie Clark. So she's got a great training partner in that from that performance last night as well. And we see the bell lap now, and Caitlin's going for it, but you don't really want to be in the lead at the moment. You want to be biding your time and making the attack.
And there's Lyndon Hall starting to move around the outside. Can anyone follow her? Heidi C tucked in behind her.
It's a problem when you're on the rails. Where Zoe's positioned, you need to get out, but you've got to wait now that you're stuck in that position. You don't want to stop your momentum, but she's coming up the back of the girls, and so it's going to, unless she gets an opening, it's pretty tough. You see her get checked. She had to stop her momentum to go around the outside.
Yeah, and she's running really well, Lyndon, and just coming on the outside. Jenny Blundell is running really well as well, just coming behind Lyndon there. So this is going to come to the last 100.
Here we go, 100 metres to go. Lyndon Hall's got the lead. She's starting to pull away. Heidi C, she did this last year in 2015, and she's starting to open up her stride on her outside. Jenny Blundell's moved into third position. It's Lyndon Hall on the inside, but Heidi C, she's going to do it again. She's going to steal the gold medal, back-to-back championship. Lyndon Hall in second place, and Jenny Blundell in the bronze. Heidi C, back-to-back 1500 metre Australian champion. And you're right, she's a championship runner.
She is, and I talked to her after the Sydney Track Classic 2 weeks ago, and I just said to her, look, you are a great championship racer, and what she needs to do now is get the time, and she'll be in the team, and it's just fantastic to see her run so well again. She just backs them up.
Do you know, it's really exciting to watch somebody who was such a talented junior and went through so many hard years. I mean, this girl's got serious talent. We saw her as a junior, and she was great. And look at her. She was tactically perfect, Benita. She was in the best position at the bell. She was one back and just biding her time. What a great racer.
Oh, and I love seeing Lyndon Hall have a crack as well. And she's one of these young ones that's just come through the ranks, and she's just got more confident with each race. And fantastic run by her as well.
The girls who've gone through the American college system.
Yeah, so actually in that first sort of group there, you've got Heidi, who was overseas in the American college system, Lyndon Hall, as well as Zoe Buckman. But we've got Lassie down there with the winner, two-time national champion, Heidi C.
Yeah, Heidi, congratulations, which is typical for championship races like that. Not much speed on early, but very tactical.
Yeah, it definitely could feel it slow from the beginning inning. So number one for me was to try and be relaxed. I knew I was going to pick up probably 400 to go. I was a little boxed in on the back straight, but I knew I just had to be patient because my last 100 is strong.
No Mel Duncan there, but still plenty of competition, a bit of niggling and everything like that. But you got there in the end, and you timed that run well down the last straight.
Yeah, definitely. The mid-distance girls right now is just so strong. So I knew even if I had a really good race, it was going to be a really tough one to win it. So, yeah, I just couldn't be happier right now. I'm really relieved.
Congratulations, Heidi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lutzi. Great interview there. Now we've got the women's pole vault. We've got the bronze medal has been decided. Vicky Parnov will take that out here tonight. Nina Kennedy, well, she's about to have her second attempt here at 4:40, and if she can get over this, that's going to pretty much put a stranglehold on possibly taking this out. But we've still got Liz Parnov as well. She's got one more attempt to go at 4 metres 40. 4:50 is the Rio qualifier. Let's see how this one can finish up. Who's going to get the gold and silver? It's going to be pretty exciting. We'll keep you updated.
Yeah, thank you, Robbo. There's Nina Kennedy on the runway. Second attempt, 4 metres 40. Now, just as we saw Heidi C, I had breakfast with Lindsay Pekin, and she said, I hope Heidi wins because she wears the best headband, the sparkliest headband.
She's got her business in them, doesn't she?
She certainly does.
What is it, Boho Kitty, or is it?
I don't follow it personally, so I can't say.
They look really good.
Well, it
She's got
works.
a few of the athletes wearing them, so look out for those headbands because they're great.
Yeah, they've got those girls that have gone to American colleges. It's all about the hair, the ribbons. I see Lyndon Hall had a big ribbon. Jen LeCays always has ribbons, and yeah, no, it's good. It's bringing a bit of glamour back to the track.
And they'd be used to that race. They'd race so much more than you'd say probably the Australians in those tactical races, so they would get a bit more experience. And there's the official results there. 4:14.17 for Heidi C. Lyndon Hall, 4:14.41, and Jenny Blundell, 4:15.12. Bridie Delaney, they're sneaking up for the 4th place, and Zoe Buckman there in 5th position.
Yeah, and this is going to be really interesting to see what these girls do now, because a few of them are 2 or 3 or 4 seconds off the qualifying time, but they've come right up in the places today. So they're probably going to go to America, have a crack at some of those American meets, and then go to Europe for the last chance. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting time now to see who can get the time and who is up in those top 2 places. But certainly Heidi C, I'd love to see her get the time.
Now you can see on the line now, we're going to welcome back our para-athletics expert, Brett Watton.
Thanks, Lynchy. Glad to be back.
It's back in the stream booth, and we've got the men's 1,500-metre wheelchair. You see just another attempt on the runway. 4 metres 40, just not getting the right height there. Now we've got a good battle out here. We've got a couple of elder statesmen and probably Hall of Famers.
Yes, actually a total of 21 Paralympic medals in this event today between 3 athletes, Richard Nicholson, Kurt Fearnley and Richard Coleman.
That is ridiculous. 5 athletes in there, 2 youngsters and 2 elder statesmen. So we've got in the number 1, Richard Nicholson, in 2, Greg Luff, 3, Kurt Fearnley, in 4, Brad Pemberton, in 5, Richard Coleman.
So they'll be looking for 3:03 as their rear qualifier. I don't think they'll quite get there tonight. It'll be more of a battle for position in this one, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, 3:03, very fast. Like you were saying yesterday, they do build up their speed, so negative splitting does occur a lot, and that's fast.
Yeah, very fast. They will negative split in this event. It's one of the only distance races or events where you see people do that. But very, very, very talented field here. Nicholson, Fearnley and Coleman all have won different various medals, World Championships, Paralympic medalists as well, as we see them come in the home straight here, Lynchy.
And you've got that group of 3, like we said before, Nicholson, Fearnley and Coleman. They're tucked in very, very close together there. 3 athletes. We've got 2 youngsters who are hopefully trying to emulate those 3 out in front. Brad Pemberton and Greg Luff, both only 16.
Yeah, very young. Greg Luff, actually a T34 competitor. So Brad is in the similar classes to the 3 out front there, spinal impairment athletes, and Greg is one of our neurologically impaired athletes. So he's doing very, very well there at the back.
We see them just almost like the cycling, pulling out, giving them taking turns to break the wind.
That's it. That's right. They'll probably would have had a chat before the race, who's going to lead what lap and how they're going to go about it. But they'll help each other there and pull each other through for good times.
So they are trying to hunt down that 3:03, but obviously we've spoken to a few of them before. The track isn't super fast. It's a bit spongy at the moment, and they do prefer it a bit harder to push on. But they are tucked in very, very close. The wheel's almost actually under the seat in front there.
And Brett, how much harder is it for Kurt Fearnley to do a marathon than a 1,500?
Yeah, it is a bit of a change of pace.
He's known for marathons more.
Yeah, known for his longer stuff, but he does get going this. He has won medals over the 5,000 metres on the track, a Paralympic and world champion in that event. So this is a little bit down here, so he may not have the speed of the other guys, but we'll see what he can do.
He's doing well.
You see it, last attempt, 4 metres 40 for Nina Kennedy in the pole vault. Unfortunately, just not getting it right on the run-up. These guys coming around the straight for the final time. That looks like Richard Coleman out in front at the moment.
Actually, the London and Athens 800-metre Paralympic champion. So he'll be coming up for this event, and the other guys are coming down. You can see Nicholson just at the back there. Kurt looks like possibly.
Yeah, Kurt in second at the moment. Nicholson just behind him. 400 metres to go. They've gone through in 2:33, so I think we might see something in the mid to low 3s.
Yeah, that's correct. They'll be outside that time, but again, they'll be looking to get line honours here. Bit of rivalry between those 3.
Yeah, it's got to be tricky. Obviously, they're in a single file there, but it's not as easy to pull out and merge and go past someone as it is in the sprints.
No, and as they're overtaking, you just see there, Kurt's gone for it on the home straight. They'll have to pull out because they do have to direct the chair around and they have to wait for the perfect moment.
And he's really just turned it off, just going past the youngster Greg Luff there, but he's absolutely punching home here. And look at the strength. There it goes, Kurt Fearnley. He's really gapped the rest of the field here. And we're going to see something around that 3:20 time. And that is very strong. It's a big battle here between the Richards. And the Victorian Richard Coleman just finishing in front of Richard Nicholson.
Yeah, Richard Nicholson actually started out his career as a powerlifter, went to the Atlanta and Sydney Games in powerlifting, won some medals there, and then moved over to the track racing.
Yeah, so it's definitely obviously a big upper body event, and with that strength that he had from powerlifting, he's tried to translate it over and add a bit of endurance.
Yeah, he is in the T54 class, so they do have no use of their lower half, but their upper body is quite functional, good use of their core and full use of their arms. Richard Coleman, T53, a little bit less use of his arms, but still in that similar class range.
Exactly. Now we got Mossy out there at the high jump D with our winner, Mossy.
Yes, thanks very much, Lynchy. I have our first Australian, Navraj Singh Randhawa, actually won the competition. He was the only man that cleared at 221. But the guy here next to me, Thomas Brennan from Perth, you bagged a silver in 2012, a bronze last year. You've cleaned out the set, mate. You are the national champion. Now, they say in sports commentary, don't ask how you feel. I don't care. How do you feel, mate?
Yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's been one of those things. I wasn't sure if it was ever going to happen. I had a really good chance in 2012, but I'm so excited about tonight, and I suppose got a bit lucky, and yeah, really happy. So.
In Canberra, you went 209. Today, 217. Equal with Joel Bader, but you won on a countback. But 8 centimetres, that's huge, mate. What happened to allow you to get such a good height tonight?
I did a similar thing last year with a 210 season best and a 215 in the national. So it's just the national chance brings the best out of me, I suppose. It's one of those where, you know, a lot more pressure's on, and I can't seem to get it right at the GPs, but at least I got it right tonight. So, yeah, I'm not sure what happened, to be honest, but, yeah.
Fantastic. What did you have for breakfast this morning, mate?
Muesli and yogurt, so that might be it.
There you go. Muesli and yogurt is the fuel of high jump champions here. Thomas Brennan from Perth in Western Australia, your 2016 national champion.
Yeah, thanks, Mossy. Muesli and yogurt. I think today I had a couple of hash browns with some baked beans on top, some crispy bacon, and then I had a bowl of fruit afterwards, you know, to tie it up. So I thought that made me feel a little bit healthier. What did you have for breakfast, Watto?
Pretty much the same. Eggs on toast, you know, stock standard for me. Gets you through the day. We're just going to see the athletes there going past, getting ready. The women there. Got Angela Ballard versus Madison Di Rosario in this race.
Good battle.
Good battle. Commonwealth Games champ, world champion Angie Ballard, world champion in the 800 Madison Di Rosario, same classification T53, athletes with a spinal impairment, so very, very good battle coming up here on the track.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And we got Lazzi there with the winner of that 1,500 metres.
Yeah, Kurt Fernley with me, and congratulations, mate. It's a powerful fit. We've come to expect it over the years.
Oh, I think this is the first Nationals that I've won for a few years, mate, so I'll take this one. Form's great, good marathon shape, and I got the boots too, so that's good news.
What's the focus, or is there one for Paralympics in Rio? Are you looking at the longer stuff, or is the track stuff where the focus is at?
We've been doing a lot of track, but the course in Rio is a flat one, and it's going to be a lot of surges in and out of U-turns, so track form will be handy. The focus will be on the 5,000 in the marathon, and the 1,500 I'll do just to make sure I'm in form.
You're a champ, mate, so congratulations tonight. Great to see you on track. Well done.
Thanks, Lassie.
Thank you to Lazzi and Kurt Fernley. I wonder how many other able-bodied marathoners are doing their 1,500s and winning state championships.
Well, yeah.
National championships, sorry.
Yeah, like you don't see it. You never see it. So that's, yeah, Kurt Fernley's amazing.
He's such a talented athlete. There's the lineup for the women's 1,500-metre wheelchair. Like we said before, Angie Ballard, Jemima Moore, Madison Di Rosario and Emily Tapp. We might see a battle of two here, Angie Ballard and Maddie Di Rosario, both T53 athletes.
Yeah, both T53 athletes. Madison Di Rosario, 800-metre world champion at this event in Doha in October. But Angie Ballard was a world champion in the 400 in that event, and she medalled in the 1,500. So this is going to be a very, very good race.
Yeah, interesting to do the 4 and 15 double and get medals.
I think she entered the 1, 2, 4 and 8 and 15 at the World Championships.
That's quite talented right there. You just see a lot of range with these.
Yeah, they do. They're very versatile. They do a lot of the shorter stuff to complement their longer stuff, and the longer stuff to complement the shorter stuff. So it's a very, very event where you can go broadly across a range of events.
And these athletes would have to spend a fair bit of time in the gym for the upper body stuff as well.
Yeah, definitely. Because they obviously have limited use of their lower half, they have to really, really pay extra attention to their arms and be very on the ball with their gym as well.
Yeah, it's not just strength, it's that strength endurance as well. Obviously, a marathon. I know Kurt Fernley's actually done the Kokoda Trail.
Yeah, wow.
It's hard enough with
Very tough.
an able-bodied.
As we see the race just get underway here, girls just falling into line here out of the start.
Yeah, very slow pace early. They haven't taken it out too hard.
No, just deciding who's going to take this one out, it looks like.
It looks like they might have been a miscommunication earlier. They weren't really sure who was going to take the lead. And it looks like Angie Ballard settled into second and De Rosario there in the third position. But yeah, very unsure about what they were doing there at the start.
Possibly, I do know they train with Jemima and Emily down in Canberra. They all come together, so possibly looking to help those two girls get some times up as well.
Yes, I was going to ask Brett, is it, the best people decide who takes the pace out, or it's the ones that need the qualifiers to drag them through? Like, what's the kind of etiquette there?
Yeah, not at an international level they wouldn't, but it's much like you have a pacemaker at some of the tour meets here. But you see the girls going around now. They'll share the lead. They've already talked about this, it seems. They'll peel off lap by lap until they probably have a sprint home, I reckon.
Yeah, so that's Emily Tapp, who was taking the lead early, just moving to the back there. Ange Ballard, De Rosario, and then the number 2, Jemima Moore, just now in third position. And it seems they're not really going for it at the moment.
No, a bit of tactics coming into play as well. You know, just whoever's in front will be setting the pace, and they'll know that the other girls are going to follow with them. It'll just be one of the girls on the end of the laps who will go for it first.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It is very, very slow. But championship racing, sometimes this might happen in the majors, and maybe that's why they're sort of setting themselves up for, obviously, a quick finish and a hard push towards those last laps.
Yeah, because we do, and we have said that the track is a little bit slow for the wheelchairs today, so they probably knew they weren't going for a qualifier, so they're probably just going to work on some tactics, help the other girls out, and then do a sprint finish.
Yeah, so it's like they've already written off, we can't get that done, so let's just practice something, maybe get a slow pace, build it up, and it looks like they are starting to get a little bit quicker.
And as you would have seen, Benita, championship-style racing, this is what athletes do at the highest level. They make the finals, and you do see them do this, don't you?
Yeah, and it's very important to be able to race well in big championships. So it's as much of a skill as to be able to get the fast times as well. So it's great to see a championship-style race here tonight with this.
Yeah, definitely there. So you've got De Rosario now up into the lead. Jemima Moore in second. Angie Ballard there at the back. And the number 4, Emily Tapp, tucked in to third. They're still coming around 600 metres left. No one's really made a move yet. We saw Kurt make a move at about a lap after this, so around 200 metres to go. We might have to wait till then to see any kind of move.
Yeah, and you do have to time it right. Even though they are not going at full speed here, it is quite difficult because you've got to manage your speed to make sure you do not collect or clip one of the other athletes' wheels, because they do come off in these wheelchairs, and they can, if they are not careful, bump and could come out of the chair. So they'll just bide their time and they'll watch for that run home.
Yeah, I do actually. I think it was 2006 Kurt Fernley hit the deck in a 1500, and obviously that ends your race.
Yeah, you just saw Madison De Rosario just have a quick look at Angie Ballard, just keep her in check to see where she is, and she looks like she's hanging near her, not letting her go in front of her at the moment.
Yeah, they're just tucked in the back there at the moment. We see De Rosario now. She's pushing, and Ange Ballard is trying to answer. And it looks like 300 metres to go. The race is starting to heat up. De Rosario making the move first. 200 metres to go. It's going to be De Rosario.
Ballard just tracking her slightly there. Jemima Moore going with them as well.
Yeah, so this slow pace has sort of given them that chance to tack on and given them a shot at the race.
Yeah, we just see Ange here, and then she just put that extra burst in like Kurt did.
Yeah, and there it is, 100 metres to go, and she's found herself in open space, straightening up the chair, and she's powering away. And Jemima Moore here, she's having a great push. Might not have enough to get up into second, but Ange Ballard will take it out. 420, Maddie De Rosario in second place, and Jemima Moore there in third. So they're different classifications, so we'll have to wait to see. But
how they score that, yes, 253s and 254s, so similar classifications, but slightly different how they have the use of the functionality of their trunk.
Yeah, so Ange Ballard will finish in the medals in front of Maddie De Rosario. That's all we can say for definitely, and obviously Jemima Moore in front of Emily Tapp. But how that works out with the gold, silver and bronze, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely, because they will get adjusted to how they go against their world records.
And you can see there, Ange Ballard, she won the 100 earlier today, and now she's backed up for the 15, and just way too strong there in the later stages.
Yeah, and it just shows to have that, you know, she does come through those sprints, and Madison doesn't do those events, and it can show there with that turn of pace that she had.
And we got Mossy out there. Can you give us an update from the Javelin, mate?
Yes, I can give you an update from the Javelin down here, guys. For those that haven't been tuned in, unfortunately, our big Australian stars won't be joining us today. Kim Mickle, she's still recovering from her injuries. Kath Mitchell as well. She unfortunately hasn't been able to come into the competition today. She's got an adductor tear, so she's withdrawn as well. I don't know why, but Kelsey Lee Roberts is not here as well. So the triple Ks, unfortunately, aren't competing today. So we are going to be crowning a new national champion. We've got a couple of Chinese competitors here. Li Wing, we just saw her throw well into the 60s. Li Huey, unfortunately, the foot went over in the first throw, so we haven't seen her chuck one out here today. But the best of the Australians, Tiana listed 48.68 and just 1 centimetre behind Monique Cilioni from Victoria. So big news down here, no triple Ks today, but we will be crowning a new national champion.
There we go. And we've got a special guest. We've said goodbye to Brett Watton, and we're saying hello to an athlete that Mossy was just talking about, Catherine Mitchell, joining us up here. Unfortunately not out there, but joining us up in the stream booth. Kath, how are you going?
Yeah, good, thank you. We'd better to be out in the field tonight.
I'm sure it would be.
That can't be.
So what was the issue that's caused you to obviously be with us?
I just had just an adductor strain 3 weeks ago after my second competition, and just put things. It was just too risky to throw in the trials, so we're just being
cautious,
just being safe, and
so we've got Lutzy down there. We might have to go down. We'll hear more from Kath, but Lutzy's got the winner of that 1500.
Right, so we're here with our winner of the 15, Ange Ballard. Congratulations again. Championships. The pace wasn't on early, but when it counted, the tactics, you got out there and won pretty comfortably.
Yeah, this race really suited me. It was slow and a sprint finish.
The other girls here, of course, the Rio is ahead this year. What are your aspirations moving forward now?
We're just training really hard so that come Rio, my 400's as fast as it can be.
Well, it looks pretty fast in the 15 tonight. Congratulations, well done.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right, we are back up here now. Now, Kath, Kelsey's not out there as well.
No, none of us are.
No.
None of us are out there tonight. We're all viewing tonight, so I'm sure the other two feel the same, that they'd want to be out there. But we're all preparing for Rio later in the year, and we need to be in the best shape possible. So
well, that's obviously the ultimate goal. Yeah. So you three probably had a monopoly on the Jav for the last while. So we might see a new champion.
Yeah, I think I think the competition will be tight tonight, and probably around there's a few throwers around the 50 to 55 metre mark. Australian throwers in the field.
Do they start with K, Catherine?
Yeah.
Because we only do K throwers at the moment.
No.
Well, sorry.
Bring some. No, we need a bit of difference in the mix.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, some other letters are.
I quite like my K's with the Javelin.
Yeah, no, very good. But there's a few internationals in the field tonight too, so I expect that they'll.
The Chinese girl, she's world silver.
Yeah, we've got two Chinese in the field tonight. One's the world champions silver medalist from last year, and the other one was 5th place.
So they're not bad.
They're not too bad. Yeah.
So 65-11 for Li Linghui and 66-13 for Lu Hui. So handy throwers.
And we have the 400 start list.
Oh, yep, up on the screen there. Sam Lind on the inside, Louise Jones, Annalise Ruby, Morgan Mitchell, Caitlin Jones, Jess Thornton, Jess Gooley-Nance and Monica Brennan.
Could you run a 400, Catherine?
I could shuffle one, I think.
Shuffle.
Yeah.
Just as a warm-up jog?
I wouldn't call it running.
I tell you what, this is one of the races of the evening. This is so exciting. Obviously, you've got Annalise Ruby, who was so great at the World Champs last year. She had Alison Felix in her heat. What an experience. And she PB'd there, so she's got a 51.6 to her name now. And on her outside, Morgan Mitchell. And she has been the athlete of this season. She has got herself in phenomenal shape. She just looks brilliant. She looks like an elite athlete. You watch her walk past you in the in the corridors of the Meet Hotel, and she's in ripper neck. She looks fantastic. She looks like, you know, she'll fit into the Olympic field just fine. She's done really well.
Caitlin Jones, formerly Caitlin Sargent, actually finding a little bit of shape again after her wedding and starting to get faster, hopefully back into those 52s, maybe eventually the 51s. But there's Morgan Mitchell, World Junior rep in 2012, and then 2014 just exploded onto the scene, almost a second PB to get that Glasgow qualifier then.
She was really upset last year. You could see it in her face when Annalise took the national title from her, and you can just see that with her behind the blocks. She wants this. I'm really interested to see how the young Jess Thornton runs. She's out there in lane 7. She has phenomenal leg speed over 200, and she is an athlete at the age of 16, went to the World Youths and ran 52.5 to win it. You know, she took over a second off her PB to win that. She is a competitor, so she knows how to perform at a big race time. And so on the outside lane, youngster, it'll be interesting to see how her pace judgment is in a field like this, but we could see her leading coming into that front straight.
Exactly, and you got Caitlin Jones. She goes out hard as well, so we could see those two athletes maybe draw through Ruby and Morgan. Morgan sometimes likes taking it easy the first bit and then coming home strong, and we've seen Ruby do a few 800s, so she's got the speed. She's been a medalist at national champs in the 2. She can run a pretty handy 800 as well.
Yeah, we might see some changes happening in the front straight, which always makes it quite entertaining while you're watching. But it's a tough event, the one lapper. But this is so exciting because the girls are qualified for the Rio Olympics in the 4x4. So even outside of these 4, there will be girls that will be trying to get on that plane as relay reserves. And when you get to the middle of the year, you know, it's about who's running fast then. So you want to be in the mix here at Nationals.
Yeah, we're not just looking at the first 3. We're looking at, say, 4th and 5th and 6th and just some fast times. And I think with the wind conditions, it does feel a little bit still. It's been hot all day, but it's settled down. And I know there's been some very fast 4s out in Sydney, and I think we could see some more again.
And that was one thing that was a bit disappointing about London, not to have a 4x4 women's relay team. So that's fantastic that we've qualified and we can watch and see who can make it.
And they've just announced Monica Brennan. She's one to look. She saw the team qualify last year and obviously did a big winter. Thought she's going to step up from the 200s where she has great leg speed too.
Yeah, well, she's been national champ previously over the 2.
This is exciting.
And we are away in the women's 400-metre final. From the inside, Lind, Jones, Ruby, Mitchell, Jones, Thornton, Gooley, Nance and Brennan. And Jess Thornton, she's absolutely tearing away down the back straight. I thought Caitlin Jones was going to go hard, but wow, Jess Thornton is turning it over. Tamsin, you mentioned that leg speed before, but this is ridiculous.
And it's the danger of her being so young and lacking a bit of experience is her being in that outside lane. She doesn't have anyone really to gauge it off. But she's, you know, she looked great in the heats, and if she can hold this form, she's going to make Morgan and Annalise really have to work to get the victory over her.
Now we come into the home straight. Jess Thornton is leading. Morgan Mitchell fighting very hard. Everyone's cheering around her, but here comes Morgan Mitchell, the long striding Victorian. She's trying to catch her, but Jess is holding on. Morgan Mitchell just getting in front, and she's going to take it out, the national champion. This is very, very fast. 51.87. We might have to wait for this result here. 52.20 is the Olympic qualifier.
Oh,
Jess Thornton
I'm so
could be close.
excited about that race. That was fantastic. Jess Thornton, you are a star of the future. That was an amazing run. And Morgan, beautiful under pressure.
Oh, 52.
She held her form, and she was fantastic to be the national champion again. It's a fast time, 51.84. But Jess Thornton in second as a youngster, PB 52.33, and she was brave out there in the outside lane.
That is so close, only 0.13. She was 0.06 from the 200 Olympic qualifier, and now she's 0.013 off. And look at this, coming around the bend, Morgan knew she had to turn it on. She made a bit of ground in that 150 to 100 metres to go, but Jess just found something a little bit extra in those later stages, and Morgan didn't really have it the whole way.
No, and I think that's the way that it was going to be run. I reckon Morgan would have known that Jess was going to go out fast when she was in those outside lanes, but it says a lot about an athlete when they're brave enough to do that. And Annalise Ruby ran really well. She fought on for that third spot, and so she'll hopefully be on that plane because she's got the qualifier, and Caitlin ran well too. Great relay team. Let's go down to Latzi because he's there with Morgan.
Indeed we do, and it's become a custom to be giving these little Rio flags throughout. And again, I mean, today, as we've been saying right throughout the year, I mean, there's pressure on girls outside. You're pushing ahead harder, and you had to hold your own and just show some control and come home when it counted.
Yeah, that was probably the toughest race of the season. Love the competition. You've got a youngster coming up facing me in the front straight. I was so scared, I'm not going to lie. But tried to hold my own. I did that. Crossed the line with a sub 52, so I'm really happy.
It must be incredibly satisfying that as your career evolves, and it has evolved pretty quickly the last 18 months, that you're handling different conditions, different race conditions, better and better every time you compete.
Yeah, it's something my coach and I practiced. I've been training with the guys a lot, so that's helped. I mean, I don't know, it just comes down to the training. We've been putting in a lot of work, and it's good to see the results.
What another fantastic domestic season for you, but things step up again now. A big year ahead. What are your expectations?
Oh, God, I'd just like to keep PBing, really. That's all you can ask for. Anything can happen between now and Rio, so the faster the better.
Congratulations, Morgan.
Thank you.
Wow, what a great effort. And Morgan Mitchell, let's just remember, she's still really young too. So she's talking about youngster and Jess, but she's still very young also.
And look at that. There's Jones, we said before. She just snuck under again. And I think that might put her into contention. She's now, well, after that, that's the 4 fastest athletes in Australia so far this year. Brilliant. Chuck in maybe Ella Nelson and Lauren Wells. That could be a 4x4.
Well, you'd hope that they'd still look at Monica Brennan too. Like, hopefully she'll go to Queensland or somewhere and race still quite well overseas, because she's a handy relay runner to have.
53-1 she has run this season. I think just getting more races under your belt as we go back to our javelin. We've still got Kath up here in the booth. So we've got a few junior athletes coming through and a few others there. How are you going with your juniors and your step into seniors?
I was a bit of a late developer, actually. Yeah, so I never made World Juniors or anything like that. World University Games was my first national team, and then I did Commonwealth Games, and I didn't make a step onto the big stage until really London, after I made a change in coach and really developed through as a late athlete. So I did it from 14, 15 years old. But
yeah, sometimes it just doesn't happen straight away, like some of these out there. But
it's you just got to. Yeah, I've just stuck at it, and I'm fortunate enough to meet a exceptional coach, and he's taken me to the next level. But I think as a junior, it's important to really establish that good technique early, to work on that for years and years on top of years, and establish.
And obviously the enjoyment is an effect as well. If you enjoy it, you're going to stick at it anyway, no matter how you're going.
Yeah, absolutely. As a junior, the most important thing obviously is to enjoy it, and hopefully progress on through I think the jump from the juniors to the seniors is can be difficult, and it is a big one, but you need to enjoy it first and foremost. Yeah.
And we've got Robbo down there with Liz Parnov out of the pole vault.
Yeah, Liz is here. She's just accepted her gold medal for taking out the national championships and got the tar on the hand as well. 4:30 tonight, Liz. How was the competition for you?
Competition was tight between me, Nina and Vicky. I'm happy with the win, but I would have loved to jump the qualifier. I've stayed off a short run for the domestic season, just trying to make sure I'm covering all my bases for Rio. So, a qualifier of 12 steps would have been a big achievement. So I am happy at where I'm at, and I'm tracking well. So I've just got to keep going and on to the next phase.
Great work. Can't wait to see you off that long run. What'll it be from here now? What's the next competition you'll look for?
Looking for something beginning of May. Not sure, maybe Europe or just over the east up in where it's hot. Yep. But we'll just see. I'm going to go back to full approach and start getting the jumps done there, and we'll go from there.
Great work. Congratulations once again, national champion. Over to you, Mossy, at the Jav.
Yes, well, it's starting to cool down a little bit here. I know the Javs, they don't like the air down here in New South Wales. But, so far, we've got the two Chinese girls well out in front, as Kath mentioned there. We've got Lee and Lou both in the top 5 at the last year's World Championships. But so far, Tiana List, she won the Australian under 20 U20 title over there in Perth. She's leading with a 50.70. That's a PB for her in her second throw. Monique Cilioni, the Victorian, the 21-year-old, with a 50.53. So only 17 centimetres separating those two. And the next placed Australian is Karen Clark with a 45.42. So we're not going to see the biggest distances for the actual national championships here today, but looking forward to seeing how these two Chinese competitors go as well. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Mossy. Tiana List, I've got to say, it's probably a bit of sweet and sour for her. 49.50 was the mark she needed for World Under-20 champs. She just missed out on that, and now, once the team's already picked and the qualifications finished, she's thrown a metre further than that. So unfortunately, we won't see her at the World Under-20 champs, but even though she's thrown a little bit further, just a week late.
That's upsetting.
But here's the start in the men's 400-metre final. From the inside, Clay Watkins, Chris Ballew, Luke Stevens, Steve Solomon, Alex Beck, Ben Offrens, James Kermond and Craig Burns.
On that point, it's disappointing because a lot of the other teams haven't even done their trials, so she actually could be picked if they could change the rules just a little bit, Jen LeCay style.
I'm sure we might be able to tweak something. We added some multi-athletes to the team today.
Yeah, we'll see. Come on.
I think the selection should be a little bit later.
Yeah.
And
let's add a hashtag like they did with Jen.
Exactly. It's that's really disappointing. I threw the World Junior qualifier. It was months after, but
when you were 25?
Last week.
40 months after. It was still months.
It made the Olympic final, but it was still the World Junior qualifier.
I finally got that qualifier that I was after.
Sorry, Catherine.
No, it's disappointing, and it's you work. That's what you work for.
When did you say you threw it?
I threw it a few months after the selection was finished, and that's what you work for at that age, and you work for bigger things at this age. And
hopefully she's listening to this when she gets back and hears what you've gone on to do. Olympic finalist, missing.
At the moment, she might be the national champ. So I think that could still work.
Start.
Yeah, that could work out for her. That'll keep her in the sport.
Yeah.
Well, if she can come up to 62 in the next 3 months.
Yeah, she's got more time for the Olympics.
If she's the national champion, she's got automatic selection.
She's found it. Oh, that's true. Yes, she's at the front at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you never know.
You guys are all looking kind of relaxed though. So
yeah.
So it'd have to be a big improvement in 5 months.
You never know in spear throwing, I'll tell you.
No, because I was talking to Hamish, and he was telling me about tricky wins can make it. Sometimes an athlete can improve a heck of a lot.
Absolutely. Tricky wins, technique. You can differ 10 metres. I've differed 10 metres within one competition just based on technique.
Now this is another great race, the men's 400.
Yeah, keep an eye on lanes 5 and 7. Solomon in 5. Offrens in 7.
Offrens isn't there.
Ooh. Well.
Very disappointing, but he's in shape.
Fastest CEO in the world.
And we are away. Watkins, Ballew, Stevens, Solomon, Beck, no Offrens, Kermond and Burns. And Solomon now starting to go a little bit harder. He didn't lead into the straight. There was a Japanese athlete who pushed the pace early. Stevens doing his normal tactics, just taking it easy in those first few strides. And Burns churning on the speed early. He loves going out hard. Kermond comes home in that orange singlet. But Solomon taking it through those first few stages. Beck usually has a strong third 100. But we're going to come around into the home straight. Burns might lead them in there. He's going to have to fight hard, but Solomon, this is his part of his race. He's like the Terminator in these final stages. Kermond trying to fight back Stevens and Beck, but Burns holding on. He's getting lactic. Steve Solomon, he's going to take out the national title. We see a 45-second run there, 45.54, and that's great running. Unfortunately, just a tick off the Olympic qualifier, 45.40. But 45.54, the unofficial winning time there. I don't think that'll change too much. I'd like to see it drop maybe 0.14.
But it's a positive step forward for Steve, who's come into this season. He had a niggle when he arrived back home from the States.
Well, it dropped a fair bit, 45.50, but...
He'll get that time when he goes over. I mean, he wasn't race-hardened when he came into this championship, and he's got himself fitter as he's gone along.
And that's a PB for Luke Stevens by 0.01. He did a 46.06 at the champs and Vic champs, and there he is, gone 46.4. Looks like Beck getting up for the... Yeah.
Poor Craig Burns got very lactic at the back end. He suffered from the early pace that he put in. But
hard.
That's still a very brave run for him, and that's the only thing that he could do when he was in that outside lane. He didn't want them to catch him too early, so brave running by Craig, and he'll be back bigger and better in the future.
Yeah, definitely. He's
well, hopefully not too much bigger because he's pretty tall.
He's pretty tall at the moment, but he's definitely found himself into a fair bit of shape.
Yeah.
He did struggle early in the season. I think he was just finding it hard. He trains by himself. The next fastest is, we saw yesterday, Alberto Campbell, who is a 52nd guy.
Well, cream rises and he's talented, so he's performed quite well when he needed to.
And
but
running scared
Luke Stevens, great race. Absolutely great race. Beautiful mover.
From Robbo at the men's triple jump.
Thank you, Lynchy. Yes, it's heating up over here. We're into the second half of the competition, and we've just literally seen the leading jump come out there, 16.05 from the Japanese athlete Yamamoto, and he comes in with a 16.09 seed jump. So he's currently in the lead, but also on 16 metres is Teta Anang from Queensland, 16.03. He was our leader through halfway. At the moment, another Japanese athlete, Diageo Hasawaga, 15.89, is holding third place. But a couple more rounds to go here. All eyes on Julian Connell, but also Dennis Finnegan, the former Irishman, now down in Victoria. His best is so far 15.37. So we'll keep you posted. Alwyn Jones, for those that are a fan, well, he's just jumped to 15.95 in the fourth round as well. So a couple more rounds to go down here. Plenty more movements I'm sure will happen. We'll keep you updated.
Yeah, thank you, Robbo. Good to see Tete Anang getting up around that 16. He's trained by Gary Bourne. His sister Na got a bronze last year at the World University Games, and this is his first year over 16 and very consistent.
Yep.
And we got Lutzi down trackside with a very ill-looking Steve Solomon.
Yeah, he's just dead set dumped about 3 litres of water on himself, and obviously pretty warm out there, but geez, what a run just outside the qualifier, and you steamed home.
Yeah, look, I was pretty happy with it. It's always slightly unlucky just missing that qualifier tonight, but I had tremendous support from the crowd, and my coach Arena Diva-Skinner worked really hard this year, so it's great to see the results coming on the board.
Yeah, to run a race as controlled as that and then power on with a couple of guys ahead of you as you came around with 120 to go. But it must be, obviously, again, no qualifier, but it must be very satisfying for you to be able to achieve that.
Absolutely. It's my third race this season, the other 2 being the previous 2 days, so I'll take a lot from it. The body's in a healthy position, so that's a massive testament to my crew at the AIS.
That's just heat getting in there, like all the water at the end. What's going on? Are you overheating?
Yeah, I overheat.
I'm a ginger. We do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mate, congratulations. A big year hopefully ahead of you. Keep on keeping on, and we'll see that qualify soon, eh?
Thank you. Thank you for all the support I had in the crowd.
Cheers, mate. Steve Solomon.
That was brilliant, and you know what? That's just exactly what a 400 does to you, Catherine. That's why you jog it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
absolutely.
The puffing that you just saw there with Steve, that's not put on, obviously. It is a hard event. The lactic that gets you in that final straight. What a race.
And you see James Kermon there coming home for a very quick PB. That's his first time under, I think, 46.70, so he's well under 46.58, and he was a junior in 2014. He decided to run the 2 over there, but we knew he was in good foreship.
Well, he finished really strongly. Yeah. He was the one who got Craig on the line. He was really strong to finish. And Luke Stevens, we haven't talked enough about his race. He was so cool, calm and collected. These boys have run 3 rounds, remember, so they should be pretty tired. They've got those runs in their legs, and they still came out and they ran season's best PBs, and all looks fantastic. So this is another event that's really exciting going forward, because Steve Solomon's obviously a superstar of the event. He came out in his first Olympics and made the final. Yeah. Went in with a B stand and made the final. It was brilliant to watch. And then Luke Stevens, the way he runs, he's so relaxed and smooth. I think he's got a big future in him as well. And as you said, James Kermans. And then you had Alex Beck and Craig Burns, the gold and silver medalist from last year. So it's an exciting event. Shame that Ben Offrens wasn't there. It would have been really exciting. But, as I said, there were 3 rounds, and poor Ben's coming back from a long layoff, and he came out and he just blew it away in those first 2 rounds. So he's really made people stand up and take notice. So hopefully he's going to go overseas and chase that time, because I'd love to see him make that team.
There is a competition on the 16th of April in Canberra. So not far for him to travel.
No, it's not too far now that he's moved there.
We've seen Canberra. It's pretty quick.
It is very quick.
Can he still make a relay team if he...
Yeah, there's definitely a shot.
If he hasn't finished in the trials, he can still make the relay?
We just need to get that relay team qualified.
Okay.
They need to run pretty quick.
Yeah, tough. Yeah, it's tough for those men, because there's so much depth in them. in the world in that men's 4x4.
And the problem
teams,
is we've already got 8 teams already there.
Yeah, and it's hard to find races as being Australian. We're so disadvantaged being Australians for relays because the Europeans have all their championships and they're close to meets and they can put on meets when they're in their season, and it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Here we go, the start list for one of the races of the meet. The men's 800 metres from the inside. Dylan Stenson, Robert Lister, Josh Ralph, Luke Matthews, James Gurr, Alex Rowe, Peter Boll and Mason Cohen. Now, we've got 2 athletes in this race who've already got Rio qualifiers.
Yep.
Luke Matthews and Josh Ralph. We've got James Gurr, who was .09 off the Rio qualifier. And we've also got the equal Australian record holder of Alex Rowe in this race.
It's going to be so interesting, Lynchy, because I saw James Gurr run 2 weeks ago and he was very dominant, won the race. But Luke Matthews, he's resting from the 1500 to be really fresh for this race. And we know he's run a fast time. Jeff Risley, who's not in the race tonight, has got the qualifier as well for Rio. So these guys want to run fast to try to clinch the win with the qualifier.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of good youngsters in there. Peter Boll, who moved from WA to Victoria to train with Alex Rowe. Mason Cohen. Rob Lister has been injured for quite some time. He made the 2012 World Juniors. Been injured since then, but coming back and finding a bit of shape here now. And Dylan Stenson, who's a soccer player not too long ago, is the boyfriend of marathon runner Jess Trengove and decided to give 8s a go, and he's always on that 1:47.7. He's always just on the edge, and I think we'll see him maybe have a breakthrough very, very soon.
Depends how they run this race. It depends if somebody's willing to take it out. I think if anyone's going to be willing to take it out, it'll probably be James Gurr. I've seen him do it before. He's a brave and he's a gutsy runner. But the ones with the qualifier may want to sit back, so it could be a tactical affair. You just don't know. And someone's really going to have to be willing to sacrifice themselves to take that first lap pace.
Normally that's James Gurr.
Yeah, it is.
He likes leading, but I think he's found it's not what's working for him now at the moment, and he is starting to win those races by just taking it a bit easier.
Being a bit more tactical. Yeah. It is much easier to sit in if you can, but sometimes you don't have that luxury. Someone actually has to lead the race, so it's a crossover.
I want to see the 8 guys spread out single stretch out right. Probably run a bit far there.
And you've got to be so good to lead from start to finish as well. Like
Unless your name's Radisha or Tamsin, yeah, find it tricky. Okay, from the inside in the 2, Stenson, Lister, Ralph, Matthews, Gurr, Rowe, Boll and Cohen. We see the cut over there. Looks like Matthews not worried about the fast pace, but Stenson there in the blue and white of the Saints Club from Adelaide.
And that'll be because if you're in the inside lane, you always have to go out that bit faster, because when the crossover happens, you
Ralph
get
is
slammed.
down. Wow, Josh Ralph has hit the deck. That's early in the race, and that's one of our Olympic qualified athletes down, and he's not feeling good. He's trying to come back. He wants to finish the race, but that is a big, big blow, and he's a long way away from the field. Now Stenson pushing the pace, and, well, that's just blown the race wide, wide open. And Stenson doing a time trial here almost by himself. He's gone through in 51.11.
Good on him. He wants his PB. He wants his time. He doesn't have an Olympic qualifier. He's in shape and he's gutsy. It is a brilliant run. And you know what? You cannot give an athlete too much head start, because they're going to have to catch that 15 metres off him.
And that is a big, big lead. He's put a lot of pressure on these other guys. They're starting to pull him back now a little bit, but they've had to work a little bit earlier than they would have liked to, I think.
Luke Matthews is closing fast.
Yeah, they're going through 600 metres in 1:17. Luke starting to chase back. Peter Boll in second place, and Gurr there moving very close onto his shoulder. But here comes Luke Matthews now. Stenson, he's made this race his own. And here comes Luke Matthews. He won the junior championship in 2014. He ran the 1500 last year, and he could be your national champion. He's only got a little bit to go. He's having a look around. You're not there yet, mate. Come on, Luke. Mason Cohen coming very hard at the end, and Alex Rowe as well. But Luke Matthews, 1:46.22. He's done a Rio qualifier. He's won the national championship.
So good.
That was a great run. That was a great run. And you know what was really exciting? Alex Rowe, who has had an indifferent season, he has held his nerve and he has just come through the inside and taken that silver. So we have in the first 2 positions 2 fantastic athletes. You know, we've got Luke Matthews with his qualifier, and Alex Rowe, you know that now he can go over and he can get that time. And good on him. And Ralph, he finished that race. What a great effort. Because if you fall in that first 150, that's a long way to run on your own. And poor thing, he's hurting too. But he's got an Olympic qualifier, so this is going to be an interesting time when the final team selected.
Yeah, I wonder what's going through his head there.
We see Luke Matthews hugging his mum and Brett Robinson as well, and he's so pumped. It's awesome.
I think that's one of the images of the whole Summer of Apps calendar is that Melbourne race where he chased Rhodesia and he...
Here we go. You see Ralph trying to come across there and just ticking the foot, I think. Peter Bowl coming in across, and looks like Bowl got tripped by Rowe and just falling into Matthews, and I think Matthews may have just clipped Ralph as they come across, and let's hope the officials don't have anything to say about that. But
it's unlucky. 800s are really rough at the crossover, and in that instance, Josh Ralph did nothing wrong. He positioned himself beautifully. He was up there on Dylan with the leader, and the guys stood on him from behind. That is so unlucky. I mean, there's not much you can do about that. And what do? You can't. You throw in a protest, but they're not going to rerun the race.
Yeah, as you can see there, Stenson, he blew this race wide open, made the others work, but Luke Matthews just fighting hard.
And he was hurting at the end, Luke Matthews, because you can see him looking around, but just to hold his nerve in this last 50 here is fantastic.
Yeah, and you can see Rowe right on the rail there. Mason Cohen in the red on the outside, another junior coming home very, very strong. Just, unfortunately, swamping Dylan Stenson just there at the end, but...
That's championship running, isn't it? Let's head down to Robbo.
Thank you. Look at this. We've got Luke Matthews here. It was a two-part plan. A few weeks ago in Melbourne, part 1, tick. Here we are in Sydney, part 2, tick. How's it feel, mate?
Yeah, I still don't know. Relief of since Melbourne, it was great, but I just knew that this was just hanging over my head, and I don't know. Today I was just hanging out at home with my parents, and I thought if one bad thing was going to happen, I was about to start crying. I was so nervous. So, if anything, I'm relieved. Today was my dream, and they're going to have to rip it out of my hands. So, when I took it, I just feel I took what's rightfully mine.
Unfortunate incident there for Josh Ralph, who comes in with the qualifier as well, coming a bit of a gutter over the back straight there. Are you aware what happened over there?
Yeah, I was worrying because Ralph actually kind of went in front of me, and then when he went out, there was a lot of commotion going on. I saw what happened. I saw what happened in the camera, but yeah, that's really unfortunate considering that he's pretty much a teammate now. He's part of the MTC stable, so. It was a bit of a shame, but I'm certain that, if things go his way, he'll run quicker than 1:45.78, and he'll most likely be on the Rio team as well.
Final question, mate. You ever been to Brazil?
No, I watched a fair bit of the World Cup in 2014, so I felt like I was there. But never. And I've been looking forward to going to Rio for about 12 months now, so now it's finally coming through. True.
Well, congratulations, mate. What about that, folks? Luke Matthews taking it out here. One of the races of the National Championships here. And congratulations. Got himself all but on the way to Rio.
Yeah, thank you, Robbo. I'm surprised you're going to get that microphone back there. But here are the official results. Just about to come up. 1:46. There it is. And I think that might be a South Australian record for Dylan Stenson there. 1:47.65. He probably ran the best race he could, possibly Mason Cohen in there, but we got Mossy for an update out of the Javelin.
Yes, okay, so 3 rounds have been thrown and we're entering the final 4, 5 and 6. So we have our first 3 Australians. Karen Clark, she'll finish the competition after 3 throws. 46.12 should be the third placed Australian. It'll be battled out between Queenslander Tiana List, 17 years of age, with the throw of 50.70, and still just 17 centimetres behind the 21-year-old from Victoria, Monique Silioni. Right up to towards the top of the charts, Risa Miyashita from Japan, the 31-year-old. Well, she threw a 57.60. She leapfrogs over Lee. She's now, she's in third position. Lee in 59.16 and Lou with 61.93. So the battle at the moment, Tiana List and Monica Silioni for the national championship.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're going to be welcoming back Melinda Gainsford-Taylor for the women's 100 metres. Ash Whitaker from the inside, Kelsey Berryman, Toya Whistle, Melissa Breen, Kana Ichikawa, Christine Wern, Zoe Hobbs and Shrabani Nanda.
Just before we talk the 100 metres, Mel, did you watch those races? I think it's exciting. Luke Matthews and Morgan Mitchell have been the form athlete of the season, so it was nice to see them take the win.
Oh, especially, look, the women's 400 was extraordinary, especially Jessica Thornton being so young and running that time of 52.33. And then, you know, backing it up as well with Steve Solomon, who's really this is his first championships.
Yeah.
And to get so close to an Olympic qualifier.
First runs all season.
And then we've got Luke Matthews. I'm beside myself. Oh, this is one of the best night of athletics I've seen in a very long time.
And now we've got the women's 100.
And then the men's 100.
Yeah, and you might be able to tell they've turned the track back around, so we've had some positive wins, or it's just not strong enough to switch it back yet, but you can see the excitement in Matthews. He wasn't sure what to say. He was actually, back in 2014 when we first had the stream going, he was the first one to swear on the live stream because he was so excited. He did apologise for it, but...
Did you know, I love that, though. You see it in Morgan's interview. They're youthful, they're young, like their enthusiasm just comes through in their interviews, and it's brilliant. I hope they never change, because it's lovely to watch.
Brings tears to my eyes just to think their first Olympics. Yeah. It's extraordinary. Now we're back to the women's 100. We just saw there before Melissa Breen. It said 5-time national champion. In actual fact, she's won 3 national championships in this event and going for her 4th national title. Been waiting for that qualifier. We keep talking about it. They've turned the track around, and now obviously they think that they've got a tailwind that will help. But really, compared to everyone else in the field, we've got Toya Whistle, who is in lane 4, who we know will get a good start. But based on the times and performances coming into this final, Mel looks like a clear favourite.
Yeah, definitely. She's just way too strong at the start and in her transition. It's going to be an interesting race. There's only 4 athletes in this field who are eligible for Australian Championship medals. And one of them actually represents Papua New Guinea. So one of those athletes will miss out, unfortunately. Ash Whitaker, Toya Whistle, Mel Breen and Christine Wern are the 4 athletes who are eligible for those titles. They will give medals out for the first 3 across the line, but yeah, it's interesting. So that's really not even a 4x1 there.
That's right. It's a long time since we've seen that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Got a few internationals in the men's race too, but we'll go through the women's first. Keep an eye on the 2 in the centre in the fluoro, Whistle and Breen. Should be too classy for the rest of the field. 11:32 is the time we're looking for. And a fast start there from Whistle. She's out strong. Breen having to chase her down. Whistle still holding on. But here comes Breen. She's turning on the speed. The Indian on the outside, she's running under. But Breen will do enough. And she'll take it out. 11.54 the wind, minus 0.3. I think Whistle would have held on for 2nd over the line. And I think Christine Wern was the 3rd Australian out in lane 7.
Well, Toya Whistle got a sensational start, didn't she? And, you know, Mel had to really work hard over that last 50 metres, but another national title, her 4th national title. It is really sensational. We've got an unofficial time.
11.53 there.
11.53. I know it came up at 11.66 on the top of the screen there, but what a great run by Mel. You've just got to give it to her. You just see in the start, but just Toya Whistle. I mean, it's just the power she gets in this start. Mel had to work incredibly hard. The thing is that Mel's run against Toya for so long now. She knows exactly what she's capable of, but this is where the impact has to be made the last, you know, couple of metres. But we're going to go down to Robbo with our winner, Mel Breen.
Thanks very much, Mel. Yeah, another Mel here alongside me, and Mel Breen would have liked to come away with a little bit of a cricket time again here, I'm sure, but how is that national champion once again? How does that feel?
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, national titles don't come around all that much, so I'm really proud to do that tonight. And the girls ran a great race, and obviously, you know, the qualifier would be awesome. But I've got till July 11, and I have great faith in my coach, Matt Beckenham, and it's Matt trusting the process, and it was about getting the win tonight, and I did that, so I'm really happy.
Going forward, you got another run on your home track in Canberra coming up, a a meet coming up that's been designed, and then maybe over to Japan again?
Yeah, that's it. So we've got a meet in Canberra on the 16th. So anyone come to Canberra and have a run on a really fast track there, and then I'll head off overseas. But tonight was about getting the win, and I'm really right with that. And tonight I ran for this little boy, Hunter Reid. He's struggling in hospital at the moment here in Sydney. He's a Canberra boy, so this win is for you, mate. Get better soon.
There you go. Stirring words here from Mel Breen. Big things to come from her on the lead up to Rio, and back up to you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Robbo.
I'm trying to work out where she carried that. It must have been in her number.
That's a bit Felix Sanchez-esque, holding it in there, but there you go. Mel Breen, 11.53, 11.58 for whistle. Shabrani Nanda will get a medal there, but Christine Wern, 11.71, will be the third Australian athlete across the line, and that's your top three. Whittaker, very tight in those minor places there. And we've got Lutzi down trackside with the Rio chef de mission, Kitty Chiller.
Yeah, we do indeed. The boss of the team, if you like, for Rio. I'm sure you don't consider yourself that, but exciting times ahead. How have you enjoyed tonight, first up?
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, it's a fantastic night. It's a perfect night. This new track is absolutely spectacular, and there's been some unbelievable performances.
It must be a real thrill for you, having been there and done that, to see athletes qualify for an Olympic Games for the very first time and see the thrill on their face and what's ahead of them.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's what it's about, to see a Morgan Mitchell today and a Luke Matthews, and and that's what it's about. They knew what they had to do tonight, and they've come out and they've done it. And for us, that's why we do what we do, to enable these kids to do the best that they can do in Rio.
Presumably you head into camp, or into Rio, I guess, a little bit before the other athletes. When do you head over?
I actually go the 15th of July, so there'll be about half a dozen of us, and we can get into the village from the 18th, and then the first athletes start arriving on the 25th of July.
And once you're there, once the game started, is your role more of an overseeing thing or a mentoring thing? What takes up most of your time over the 2 weeks of the Olympics?
Hopefully getting out and seeing some fantastic sport and supporting all our athletes. I've made a commitment to get to every single one of the 27 sports that we're competing in. Not sure that's going to be logistically possible, but that's my aim, and hopefully that's what I'll be doing.
Well, hopefully tonight we've seen just a little bit of what we're capable of in Rio in track and field, and terrific to have you here, Kitty.
Yep, beautiful. Good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to Lutzi and Kitty. We've got a tweet up on the screen. There it is. Craig James loving the athletics coverage there, and he's flicked the link. So if anyone wasn't watching it, now they can, and they can flick on right now. We've got one more race left on the program, the men's 100-metre final. They're just setting up their blocks, so we're going to head to an ad break, and we'll come back with plenty more action from the 94th Australian Athletics Championships.
Sydney Olympic Park. Get into life.
Welcome back. We're live from the Sydney Olympic Park for the 94th Australian Athletics Championships. And we have the men's 100-metre runners warming up on the track.
Yeah, there it is. Start list from the inside. Nick Andrews, Jin Soo Jung, Aaron Stubbs, Alexander Harmon, Jack Hale, Benuve Tumbakatoro, Joseph Miller and WK Himasha Airshan. Now, we've had to say goodbye to Catherine Mitchell. She wants to shoot back over there and watch the last few rounds of the Jav. And we've joined Tamsin, myself and Melinda Gainsford-Taylor. We see Stubbs in the blocks. Without Clark in the race, is the fastest so far this season.
Well, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? You know, if we talk about what happens throughout the season, but it comes down to this moment. And then it comes, you know, looking at the results from the semi-finals, we've got Aaron Stubbs, who ran 10.39. We've got Alex Hartman, who ran 10.31. And we've got Jack Hale, who ran 10.36. So it makes it a very, very close race. And it's going to make it an incredibly exciting race.
Well, they're all actually trying to get their first national title.
Yeah.
None of these athletes have actually won a national title. Well, Hartman's won a national title in the 200, and Benuve's got 2 silvers previously beaten by an Australians. We see Louis Stenmark there, solo, killing it, looking in good form. Unfortunately, Louis, he might have been in that final. He hurt his hammy down in Canberra, but we might see him back in some pretty good shape shortly.
And kept running for a little while, didn't he? What a brave
Tried to be Burt Cameron. Not everyone can be Burt Cameron. If you don't know who Burt Cameron is, look up the 1984 semi-final.
Yep.
But yeah, we're going to see some first-time national title winners.
There's Joseph Miller from New Zealand, who's the fastest.
The fastest New Zealander.
And he looked good in his semi. He looked like all he wanted to do was just qualify. So and he just looked so confident about doing it. So obviously he didn't win that semi, but he looked confident that he was in control the whole way.
Well, this is the thing. You know, we sit down here and we look at the times. They're quite irrelevant now.
Yep.
I mean, the whole idea was to make this final and to get to this final, and this is where it's from. That's from Lauren Wells. Gutsy 400-metre running tonight, girls. Morgan Mitchell, Jess Thornton, Annalise Ruby, Caitlin Jones.
Yeah,
my
Loz,
heart was in my mouth. I can agree with you, Loz.
She might find herself joining a couple of those athletes in a 4x4, possibly, over in Rio.
You have a 4-hurdler in the team. They're always penciled in as possibilities, you know, because you just never know what happens at championships. So
it's great to have,
stranger things, haven't you? The more emergencies you can have, the better.
And they always seem to be able to throw out a good split. Brendan Cole and Tristan Thomas, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, they've helped us win some medals at major championships.
They certainly have. As you see the guys getting lined up, some big fans of... when you come to New South Wales, Sydney Uni always has... is your daughter still out there, Mel?
There she is, on the right-hand side. She's excited about being on television, as you can
she
tell.
needs to get a better seat for the 100. She needs to come down this end. It's probably not as comfortable. There's less beanbags down in the finish line.
She's pretty shy, as you can see.
Is she the one that can run?
Yes.
Yeah, she's a good little sprinter, I hear.
Yeah, she does well. Alex Hartman, bronze medal in this event last year. Would love to have that national title that Matt spoke about. It's just so incredibly special to have your first 100-metre title when you're a sprinter. Jack Hale, the new sensation, got so much attention since he was very young and has been delivering.
Yeah, Benuve, Tumbukatoro. Luckily, I've got a Fijian friend who told me how to say it.
I just love hearing you say it.
But he's finished second at the last 2 titles. He was second behind Tim Leithart in 2014, second behind Josh Clark in 2015. And he's coming back into form. Queensland Track Classic was his first race, and he said he was a bit nervous before that, and he ran maybe a 10.50, and obviously now he's in 10.4s. So he's quick. And a Sri Lankan friend, he's went to the World Junior Championships in 2014. And first time we've seen him in Australia, and, well, he's showed a bit of shape. Can travel.
And a good starter.
Yeah, he gets away quick. Looks really relaxed out of the blocks. It doesn't look fast, but it must be powerful. Gets him out there.
It's what he gets out of those first few strides.
Yeah.
It's quite unique if he can get that much power and generate it so quickly.
Same to see Hartman come out of the blocks. It's not a quick turnover, but it's very powerful.
And those long levers.
He gets them moving, that's for sure. There's a silence. Comes over the stadium. The last event on the Saturday night. From the inside, Andrews, Jung, Stubbs, Hartman, Hale, Tumbukatoro, Miller and Ishan. And we are away. Stubbs getting a very... Ooh.
Do you know what? It looked like Stubbs broke. It was someone on the inside lane, I reckon.
I didn't get to finish Stubbs get a good start, but maybe it might have been too good.
Oh, Mel.
Yes, it's probably one of the toughest rules, I think, in track and field. Now we've come into this.
Joseph Miller walking straight across to the
maybe his block slipped
officials.
And Stubbs did have just an amazing start.
Here we go. In lane 7, second from the outside, the New Zealander.
I know,
yeah,
he's just
definitely a slippage from Miller.
Yeah, he got a great start, Stubbs. How annoying.
Yeah.
A great start.
We need to get some... with
Sorry
a new
about
track,
that, Aaron.
there is a bit of loose track on top. So we may need someone, maybe one of the officials, to step on the back of his blocks. It's not something you want to have, but luckily they've pulled it up, and obviously not his fault.
No.
I'm just glad there was no break.
No, exactly. And here we are. We're placing another pair of blocks because, you know, especially when you get to the stronger men, the power they get out there, and also too with a new track, you know, a new tartan can be a little bit loose, but can be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, you look at the sandpit out here and you come around to the steps and you look at the power there. He's already rocking just the foot placements.
Even there then.
Yeah.
Is there a rule in place that if blocks do slip back, they have to call it back? Or is it just that the official's nice?
Well, it's up to the officials. You know, they've got a criteria, you know, that they need to tick to be able to make that happen.
It's good that he did pull it back,
yeah,
though.
absolutely. You know, and this is interesting too now as a sprinter. You're coming in now, you've got to reset. I mean, delivering this 100 metre is about mentally being able to be strong enough to do it.
Yeah.
This is where it becomes challenging. And it's the athlete that can refocus and feel as though nothing's happened and deliver the race that they want.
And we're away cleanly. Hale getting a good start. So is Harmon. Andrews on the inside, but here comes Stubbs. He's into his running. Alex Harmon coming home very late. It's going to be between Stubbs and Harmon. Alex Harmon, he's the champion. It's going to be very tight between Hale and Stubbs for that silver medal. But Alex Harmon is your national 100-metre champion. And that was dominating.
Oh, look, it was a race that absolutely delivered. We knew it was going to be close. We knew it was going to be close with Stubbs as well. And you could just see throughout that race where Hartman got out, then Stubbs came at him, and then Hartman went again, and then, you know, Stubbs came again. It was just about the one that could hold their form, be powerful enough, mentally strong enough to get through, and well done to Alex Hartman. That was a great run.
And taking the silver medal, Jack Hale. Jack Hale getting up for silver, 10:40, and then 10:41, Aaron Stubbs. As you see that, when a big man like that, who can run 20:45, gets out like that, he's going to come home strong.
Look at Jack Hale, how far behind he was and how hard he's working to get that second position. And it's because he dipped that he ended up getting the silver medal.
And we've got Robbo with the winner, the new 100-metre champion, Alex Hartman.
Thanks, Lynch. Yes, Alex Hartman, we keep meeting him under these circumstances, mate. I've never interviewed you so much until this season. It's obviously a great sign that you're running super well and getting that national championship. Your first ever national chance in the 100 metres. What's your reaction to that, mate?
I'm absolutely wrapped, mate. What can I say? Time could have been a bit quicker, but national champion is outstanding. So happy.
And that's not bad, mate. Your main event's not till tomorrow. You must be feeling pretty confident going into that now.
Yeah, most definitely. I can't wait for tomorrow.
We'll let you go and enjoy getting that gold medal here tonight, and look forward to seeing you trying to double tomorrow.
Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks to the crowd as well. Yeah, fantastic.
We're going to go to a quick ad break, and we're back with some more Javelin from the Australian Athletics Championships.
Sydney Olympic Park. Get into life.
Here we are, we're back at the National Australian Athletics Championships. There's the full results there. 10:35 for Alex Hartman, Jack Hale 10:40, 10:41, 10:47 for Joseph Miller, our Sri Lankan friend 10:50, 10:52, 10:55, 10:55. Very close, only 0.2 between those guys. We're going to check it all the way out there to Mossy for an update of the Javelin.
Thanks very much, Lynchy. Yes, well, I use it a lot, but I'll tell you what, it is starting to heat up in the competition because we're up to the final round of competition. We still have both the Chinese and the Japanese athlete in third, second and first position, but all eyes are on the little Queenslander, Tiana List. She's currently leading still by 17 centimetres over Melbourne's Monique Silioni. And for those that have just joined us, our third Australian tonight, Karen Clark from Wyndham in New South Wales down there near Bega. Well, she threw out at 46.12, and so she is our third place Australian tonight. So who's it going to be? Will it be the Queenslander? Will it be the Victorian? Well, time will tell here in the final round, just about to start in the Javelin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mossy. Now, we've spoke about these athletes and Sally bringing all these hurdlers through the ranks, but I think we've got Kath, Kelsey and Kim are bringing these javelin throwers through.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting event, isn't it? It's I'm still disappointed that they can't extend that qualifier for the under-20 juniors, but it's exciting to see that she's held her nerve and she's come out and still performing well. But it's great to have the Chinese athletes out in this event. We've talked about, obviously, internationals in the track events, and obviously the women's 100 didn't have a lot of Aussies in it in the end. But I mean, for the women's javelin throwers to be competing against the silver medals from a world champs, you see the flip side of it. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I'm sure those international athletes are a little bit disappointed that the triple Ks didn't show up either.
Yeah,
they probably came out there thinking we'll throw against some high 60-metre throwers, and unfortunately, it just doesn't happen today. But
No, they would have come down here hoping that they were going to perform against our three superstars at the event, but you always try and choose those events where if you want to you try and stay in your time zone because it's a bit easier to travel. So they're doing training camp here, the Chinese girls, so they probably just want to have a hit out before they head into the main part of their season.
Yeah, you can see Brody, our cameraman, relaxing. His night's finished. He runs around, probably runs more kilometres than a few of these runners does with the camera strapped to his shoulder. He's got eyes in the back of his head. I haven't seen him fall over yet, so maybe we haven't worked him hard enough, but he's been logging a fair few Ks. We might need a GPS system on him to run around there, but we're in the final round of this women's Jav. And hopefully we can see some of these girls get a few of those PBs. Still nice and warm here. I've heard rumours that it's going to rain tomorrow and be very disappointing weather. So we might have to have a little bit of...
Yeah, it's interesting. I ran into Steve Nelson before, who's Ella Nelson's father. And, you know, obviously we've got a lot of wonderful events coming up tomorrow as well as the 200. So they were saying it was a bit unfortunate, the fact that it might be raining, but who knows? You can't always trust the weather.
Yeah, exactly. And fingers crossed that it's lying. But we're going to say goodbye and good night to Tamsin. She has a little race tomorrow, the 800-metre final, so she's going to go hit the sack, and obviously we wish you luck tomorrow, and make sure everyone tunes in to watch that race, and hopefully we get to interview afterwards maybe.
Thanks, guys. I would stay, but it's just it's daylight savings tomorrow, and my daughter didn't get the memo, so I'm tipping that when everybody's sleeping in that extra hour, I'm still up at 5 a.m. Great preparation. But I'll see you guys there tomorrow on the track.
Yeah, definitely. So good luck, Tamsin, and we'll say goodbye to you.
Thanks, Tamsin. Can't wait to see you race tomorrow.
Yes, good luck. Thank you, guys.
So there's three left, myself, Mel and Benita, as we see Tiana List, the youngster from Queensland. She was the under-18 all-schools champion in 2015, and she could be the national champion only a few short months later with a huge PB. And that's not too bad either. That looks like it could be tickling the 50-metre mark as well. Actually, that could be a little bit bigger. It's not a bad throw. She might have set a new under 20 Queensland record, which means I have to go home and do some work next week and update the records.
I was going to say.
That's my job. I'll have to scroll through all these results and see anyone who broke any records. But Tiana List, I think she seems to be in a bit of shock that she's the national champ.
And how exciting for her. I mean, just this sort of experience for her coming out of it, you know, it just might be the inspiration. You know, sometimes you just need something little that you'll sit back and say, that's changed my life, you know, and it's the motivation you need to keep training.
And might have to find David Tarbotton or Paul Jeans and see, possibly could be the youngest ever javelin champion. I know Angus Armstrong last year was only 18 when he won the pole vault, and he was the youngest pole vault champion. And I'd say 17 would be very close. The Japanese athlete just getting a little bit too much height when we had Kath here before, she said in a comp you could 10 metres between your throws, just due to the conditions or how it comes out, the angle that it comes out. So I know when I play Javelin on PlayStation, the angle really comes into it. And if you get the wrong angle on London 2012 on PlayStation 4, it does really affect your throw. So I can really understand what these girls are going through out here.
And Lynchy as well, just before Kath left, she said that this competition is just going like a bit longer than she's used to as well. She said they don't normally go this long. So it's interesting to see that it's lasted like as long as it's lasted, but she's gone back there to cheer on these girls, and that's a sign of a champion as well, when she's cheering on people that she usually competes against.
And that must be challenging for the throwers as well. They've been out there for a long time, and mentally, try to pull yourself together to get, great performance over those last throws is really important.
Yeah, it's an up, down, so your arousal levels, obviously, you need to relax, but that's a big throw there from the Chinese athlete. That mark there at 62 metres from Ling Wei.
That's impressive.
Getting up there over that 60-metre mark, you would think. Yeah, Blake Steele. Oh, what a night. Sydney Olympic Park. It's been great here for the last days, and we've got one more day left.
So many good races tonight. Like, just the finishes of these hundreds, the middle distance races, they've come down to the last 50 even in the longer stuff. So it's been fantastic, and tomorrow's probably going to be the same. And even if it's raining, Mel, is that going to be a problem for those 200s?
Look, not particularly. The only thing that worries me is on a new track raining, because there's been suggestions it's quite flat and it doesn't give a lot off, and I'm talking from a sprinter's point of view. So tomorrow, with it being wet, isn't ideal, I have to admit. But someone like Ella Nelson, I mean, she's got a couple of qualifiers under her belt. So for her, it's just to come out, and win. But, for the others, it can be a little difficult if you're wanting to get a personal best as well. That'll make it quite hard. Yeah,
and I know this track was very tough when before it got relayed in the wet. It was almost dangerous.
Yes, it was like cement.
Yeah, it was tough. There's a tweet from Steve Morgan, big Alex Hartman, just getting a retweet. Obviously a big Hartman fan. As we see the final throw of the competition from the Chinese athlete getting it out there. It looks like Lu Huihui. She has a personal best of 66.13, that's
handy.
World class.
Yeah, it's very handy.
And she will be the winner of that competition as they wrap up the final throws, and that's the final event of the Javelin. Everyone, don't forget to come back and tune in tomorrow. We start a little bit earlier tomorrow. It's a day competition. Obviously, people might need to get home to work on Monday, but we do have the Athletics in Australia Gala starting at 7 o'clock.
Be a wonderful night.
Yeah, so it's a tradition to finish a little bit earlier on the Sunday for this.
Yeah, and that gala will be great to just see a few athletes recognised for their achievements, and also see athletics recognised as well, and have everyone together. And I know Mel and I were talking 2 weeks ago about seeing each other, and we hadn't caught up for so long, and this gala is going to be a good opportunity to do that.
And we're going to go to Mossy with the winner of the Javelin.
Thanks very much. We have the first Australian, that's right. We're crowning a new national champion. We have Tiana List, the Queenslander. Well, she won the under-20s a couple of weeks ago. Comes back here today. You got yourself a gold medal. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Now, I guess this is maybe not the greatest consolation, but you missed out on the World Juniors just recently. You were devastated over there. What about the emotions that you're feeling right now? You're the national champion.
To come away with the national championships at an open competition is absolutely amazing at my age. I couldn't ask for anything more. To come away with a PB of over 2 metres.
Well, no, that's what I was going to say. What have you been doing? What have you been eating?
Oh, I thought I had a little bit of a break after juniors, but apparently it's stomach good, so couldn't be happier.
Congratulations. Well, and what's the next steps for you as far as competition goes?
Just bigger and better, I guess. Keep working hard and see where it takes me in the next few years. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations, Tiana List. You're our national champion here at the Australian Athletics Championship. Back up to you, Lynchy.
Yeah, thank you, Mossy. Maybe that break, she freshened herself up.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought coming off from nationals, having a break, it makes you throw big, obviously.
Yeah, and speaking of breaks, we're going to have a quick ad break, and we'll be back with plenty more at the 94th Australian Athletics Championships. Well, I've got to say, it's been an absolute ripper night out here with so much going on the track and in the field. I'm still joined by Melinda Gaines-Taylor and Benita Wills. Melinda, your highlight of the night.
Oh, look, Lynchy, there's so many, but I'm just going to have to stick with Alex Hartman just winning his first national title, and it was such a tough race, and to come through with that was just fantastic.
And it puts him in good frame for that 200, his actual proper event tomorrow.
And he's got a qualifier for the Olympics, so that's even better.
Yeah, we could see him at the gala. Benita, your highlights.
Oh, definitely Luke Matthews winning his first Australian title in the 800 and just finishing the way he did. And all the pressure was on him to win, and he did. And fantastic. And taking the microphone off Robbo in the interview, that was fantastic too.
Yeah, well, hopefully neither of you have stolen the highlights of the boys down there, but we'll go to Mobbo and Rossi. Mossy and Robbo and Lutzy. I've almost made it to the end of the night for their highlights.
Oh, Lynchy, it's only day 3, mate. We've got to come back tomorrow. Well done. But look, here we are on the most comfortable beanbags in athletics in the world. And look, a couple of weeks ago, we had a little event called the Sydney Track Classic. Well, tonight, that was the Sydney Track Classic Part 2, boys. And Lutzy, great to have you on the stream, mate. I thought you punched well above your weight, and great to have you on board. What were the high points for you?
Well, I mean, that last sort of 30, 40 minutes was unbelievable with the 4s and the 8s and everything. Morgan Mitchell, just every time she competes, you can tell there's a buzz around her. The kids in the stand love it, but there's an intensity about everything she does, the way she does it. She's a class act, and I think a lot of people will leave here today talking about her yet again. Look, nothing spectacular happened on the men's high jump, but just being down there watching it and seeing Nick Moroney back in action. I mean, as we said during the call, the guy's a 7-time national champion. He's been a finalist at Com Games a couple of times, and I think he's like 84 years old, but he's out here again having a crack and inspiring the older ones of us among the commentary team that perhaps past our best but are still trying to reach our goals.
Speaking of people in their prime, Mossy, you did well out there tonight, mate, covering the bases across the field events, and high points for you, mate.
Yes, mate. Well, it's quite fitting here. I'm just looking for a clown to the left of me because there's definitely jokers to the right. Yeah, what a great day it was out in the field once again. And I think sort of Lutzy, or Mossy, as I like to call him over there, has picked the bones out of it. But let's not forget Matt Denny. Second national title. That's 2 in a row. We could say a hammer and a discus. He didn't quite get the qualifier. He said he'd been going pretty close. A little birdie told me that he's getting pretty much bang on 65 at training. So in a couple of weeks, he's going to be preparing himself to get over there to Europe, and he's pretty confident, mate. A kid, pretty much. He looks like he may well find himself on the plane to Rio. Hopefully I haven't put the mocker on him, but fantastic stuff out there today. Great to see Matt Denny. And then just finishing it up there, Tiana List. And, one of the things as a sports commentator, you get to share the joys, but the emotion of her when she missed out on the World Junior Qualifier, but by, the size of a 10-centimetre ruler, that's 10 centimetres, by the way. And, seeing her absolutely devastated a couple of weeks ago over there in Perth, come here today, that would have been a qualifier, but she takes down the national titles at just 17 years of age, which is fantastic.
Look, it's going to take a bit to recover from all that, boys, but we're back here tomorrow, go home, have a cup of green tea, settle your nerves down, and let's get back for tomorrow. And look, I know you boys, the lights are pretty bright here. I know you've got to get undercover, make sure you don't get that too tanned. But look, it's my final one of the night, and it's back up to you, Lynchy.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Well, that's a wrap for day 2 of the Australian Athletics Championship and the Multi-Event Championship. We trust you've enjoyed the coverage. Tune in again tomorrow for some action. A big thank you to my co-commentator, Benita Willis, Mossy and Robbo, Melinda Gaines, Tams Lewis. We had Kath Mitchell up here, Lutzy as well. I'm Matt Lynch, and you've been watching the 2016 Australian Athletics Championships. Bye for now.
Just